Hello, people. Welcome to the podcast.
Ooh, wow. Ow.
Today I have a very, very special guest all the way from the Middle East. And she's also kind of a beast. I have Anna Galperin, the one and fucking only here. Hello, Anna.
Hello, Ohad.
How are you, Anna?
I'm doing wonderful.
It's beautiful to have you here. I'm very excited.
Yes, so do I. We actually matched our shirts today. We're both wearing black and red plaid. This is our podcast uniform.
Seattle style.
No plan. It's all from fate.
It's all from Mama Universe and Papa Earth.
Papa Earth. Hi, Ohad. I'm very excited to be in your podcast.
Yes. You are the first Israeli person I have in my podcast.
Ooh, great honor.
Not me.
Great honor.
Yeah, usually we talk in Hebrew. You really like this language, Hebrew, and now we talk in English. When usually we don't really communicate in English. So it's going to be kind of a new interaction between us.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's no biggie because we both live in English since many years, so...
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
And sometimes we throw some words in Hebrew, probably.
Yes.
We cannot really avoid it.
And we shall translate with a promise.
Some are not translatable as much as we would like to.
So we actually met like almost 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, I would like to introduce you before we
Okay.
actually talk about how we met.
Okay.
Because you're a really remarkable person. You're one of the most wildest people that I know. And, you know, when someone see you for the first time, you appear very cute, very sweet, you know. You have beautiful blue eyes. You have blonde hair.
They're green.
Green. Yes, they change colors. Yeah, they're green.
Yes, they
Completely
are.
green.
Well, they're green.
100% green.
They're green. Green with shades of yellow.
You have beautiful eyes.
Oh, thank you.
And you're a very cool person. Like, you always have style. So
thanks.
you not seem as crazy as you are. But once someone really dives into who is Anna... Yeah, should I introduce you or you want to introduce yourself?
I'm curious to hear how you introduce me.
So yeah, Anna is crazy. And what I mean by crazy, she's been doing skydiving for years.
16 years? 2006. Since 2006.
Yes. You basically quit your education, your diploma education, degree education?
Yeah, degree education. I was studying for masters. The first one is masters?
No, I think it's the second one.
The bachelor.
Yeah, we are peasants. We don't know about
Yeah,
this
we've
stuff.
been only a year and a half in uni, so forget all this stuff. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, and then you quit it so you can jump out of airplanes.
Basically, I've been jumping before I started university, but I started skydiving again as I started university, and then my life was weekends at the drop zone by the beach, having the most incredible time, and then coming back to Jerusalem to the Hebrew University, studying history, philosophy, and language of China, which was very interesting too. But I would have a big energy drop every time I would come back to Jerusalem. It's like my body was like signaling me, you're not doing the right thing. But the rational mind took a long time to catch up. And it took me about a year and a half to figure out that I'm not doing what I really want to do, which was skydiving professionally. So I actually decided to quit school. But before I decided to quit school, I actually decided to continue with school. But then I felt depressed for 2 weeks and couldn't get out of bed. And then I realized, no, this is not the right decision. So I reversed my decision and I quit school in 2011. And I became a professional skydiver. And I was working in this field as a videographer when I fully committed to it, which is an incredible job. It's jumping out of a plane and joining the people that do a tandem, the introduction jump with the instructor. And I would fly around them and capture their experience. That was my full-time job for 3 years in Israel.
You mean the people who receive as a present, so you can jump now from an airplane as your birthday present, and you were there making sure it will be in video?
Yes, I am the videographer woman.
How many jumps have you done in a week?
In those years, I was working full-time, so I would do like 800 jumps a year, and it will be like between 3 to 14 jumps a day. Depends on the day. And
between
on the time.
3 and 4?
Between 3 and 14.
14?
Yes.
Wow,
That's
day.
That's my record.
You jumped 14 times from an airplane in one single day.
Yes, it
Holy
is.
shit. You see people, she's crazy. Wow. 14 times. And there is not much risk of injury.
This is not true to say.
Relatively.
So it depends from which angle you're looking at skydiving. So inherently, skydiving has a lot of risk involved because you are jumping out of a plane and you might meet the ground, or you might have some mid-air collision and all this. But because you're far away from the ground and your whole free fall time and canopy flight is like in the air, so it's relatively safe. Because like if I compare it to like skateboarding or BMX or snowboarding, yeah, you have, when you fall, you meet the ground, the snow, the asphalt, whatever, pretty fast. So there you have like more chances for different minor to medium injuries. But in skydiving, because whenever you try shit, like you don't have the earth to meet, so you don't have that kind of fails very often. So there the risk for injury drops. But in the landing, I think it is still by now where you have the most injuries in skydiving. You can definitely injure yourself.
While you meet the ground.
Can't you meet the ground?
Yes,
when you meet the ground, that's the problem.
The ground is the violent one.
Yes, it's not the air. And you can have mid-air collisions, like if you do like different high-risk jumps and you're not coordinated with your buddies on your different approaches to wherever you're meeting in the formation, you can definitely have some dangerous mid-air collisions. Not unfortunately, fortunately, I didn't have any in the air. I did have one major skydiving accident performing a high-speed landing in 2013, which I survived. You still here? Yeah, I was at the time practicing a style of landing, which is a high-speed landing style. You're not coming like chilled. You're going a little bit high above your landing area, and then you're spiraling your canopy fast towards the ground, and then you're like taking it out of the dive, and then you're gliding over the ground super fast, and it looks really awesome. It feels incredible. So that is called swooping. And I always wanted to progress into that field as I started skydiving, and it took me ages, because I didn't have any other experience with like fast sports with lines and snowboarding and skateboarding and all this stuff. So it was a very slow progression to that point, but I managed, and I was actually doing it pretty well when I was doing it until I met the ground.
How was the meeting with the ground?
It was surprising. I was actually I had like so every accident has different like, factors that bring the accident to reality. It doesn't happen for one reason. My main reason was that I was not focused that day, and at the time, because I was really pushing hard on my canopy skills, on my landings, I was not leaving a lot of room for error, so I was pushing really hard. I just made my canopy smaller, which means faster, and I didn't have that many jumps on it. I had like over 50 jumps or maybe 100 jumps on that canopy. And I was going hard, and that day came when my mind was so not in place. So my reactions were slower. And whenever you do these turns, yeah, you have to be very focused to react on time if you're not doing the right approach. And basically, my mind was slow in that day. So I would see that I'm not clear from the ground, but it's not see, react. It's a see, thought, react. That's too slow.
And then you meet the ground.
And then you meet the ground.
And then what happened?
And then what happened? So I had like a little, like you sometimes have when an airplane landing, like a little bounce, donk. So that was the first meet with the ground, a little bounce. And then that second before that, I braked with my parachute, and that gave me the bounce and lift.
You what with the parachute?
I braked like like a push on the brakes.
Yeah.
We called it flare. I flared my canopy, and then in that moment I was already shocked. The pain was not actually strong from that moment, but I was shocked from the impact, and I just
from the first impact.
And then you can actually fly through that moment, but I was not focused. So definitely.
What do you mean, fly through the moment?
You can still stay focused and fly your canopy from this moment, from the first bounce. It's not like that's it, you're dead, yeah? You have bounce, you're still flying, if you're still aware, if you haven't lost your consciousness or anything like that, you can still fly your parachute to safety. You can like save yourself in the last moment.
How high do you bounce when you have this meeting?
A few meters.
All right.
So I think I bounced maybe height to 3 meters and in distance like maybe, I don't know, not more than 10 meters. But there I was smashed on the ground with my back. And that moment hurt.
On the second bounce.
On the second bounce. The first bounce was not painful. It was more like shocking because of the impact with all the speed. You come with a lot of speed.
Which part of your body met
The knees.
Your knees.
Yes.
So you bounce with your knees.
Yeah, but it was like it was a slight angle where I hit.
Yeah.
It's like a slight angle. And I flared. I braked my parachute at the moment. So that's why the impact was not very painful. It was very shocking. But then I didn't fly through the bounce and I smashed myself on the ground with my lower back.
Wow.
Lower back, yeah. That was painful. That took my breath away and I cried in pain. The first thing I did...
break anything?
I cracked my sacrum and I stretched ligaments on my knees. No surgery.
Yeah, it's pretty good injury from from falling down from an airplane, and this is how you finish.
Man,
it's pretty good.
I went to the hospital. They didn't want to they told me, yeah, you're okay. I'm like, no, dudes, you got to give me some more CT scan or something. Like they did the x-ray didn't show anything. Then my friends that I was talking to, no, let them scan you. You fucking smashed hard into the ground. So they CT scanned me, but they still didn't find anything. So they dismissed me. And my dad picked me up and then we went back to the drop zone. I was high on drugs, limping. I was still fucking walking, had a beer, threw up at the drop zone, said hello to my friends. And then I drove to Jerusalem. I don't know how I climbed their 4-story apartment. But afterwards, I couldn't move for 2 months. Shit.
Wow.
And then I had second diagnosis, and then they saw that I actually cracked my sacrum and I was a bit injured. Yeah.
Crazy. Medical health system in Israel.
Yeah.
They did not do the CT, basically?
They did, but I guess the doctor, it was not such a good doctor. It was in a Hillel Hadera hospital, not the best hospital, apparently.
But they did a rentgen or CT?
They did a X-ray. They did X-ray and a CT. X-ray didn't show anything. It was too small. And the CT scan did show a crack, but the doctor that was examining me didn't see that, only in the second opinion. When I was already at home and I couldn't really move, it was like, something is wrong. They gave me the wrong diagnosis.
And this is a doctor that studied for years, at least 7 years. And then he got also the experience while working. And he failed to do his job.
Yes, he did.
People in Israel don't go to Hadera Hospital.
Yes. The funny thing is, this whole thing happened 3 weeks before I was about to leave Israel and go on my biggest adventure. I like to follow through my dream of skydiving and to progress in the sport and to take part in the skydiving scene of the world and basically follow my dream of flight. Because at the time, skydiving in Israel was not very big. There were mostly more commercial work to do rather than to grow as a skydiving athlete. And I really wanted to grow as a skydiving athlete. And that whole thing fell through because I injured myself. And it happened only 1 year later. And that was actually the beginning of whatever brought me here to Berlin.
What a journey.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy. Once we decide really to follow our dreams, so funky stuff happen. You can call it magic. You can call it the universe just align itself in order to give you what you deserve to get from the action that you choose to take. And what if you would never go and follow this dream and you would stay in university?
Fuck that shit.
What will happen? Where would you be now? Can you imagine this?
I don't want to imagine this. It's a fucking waste of time. All I can say is it's incredible to follow your dreams. It just opens life, There is a wonderful quote that I'm going to find. Can I find this quote?
Take your time,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm going to find this quote.
We have a lot of time here.
Yeah.
Son of a pigeon podcast.
It's a great quote that actually describes exactly that. It's by Terence McKenna.
The master. I love Terence McKenna. He's a very wise man. He's a bit of a weirdo, but he's really, really, really wise. He took me quite a while to understand him. I remember I used to listen to his lectures, and the way he was speaking, I could not really understand what he wanted.
Okay. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Give me a second. Okay, you ready for this, ladies and gentlemen? This is a quote by Terence McKenna. Nature loves courage. You make the commitment, and nature will respond to that commitment by removing impossible obstacles. Dream the impossible dream, and the world will not grind you under, it will lift you up. This is the trick. This is what all these teachers and philosophers who really counted, who really touched the alchemical gold, this is what they understood. This is the shamanic dance in the waterfall. This is how magic is done, by hurling yourself into the abyss and discovering it's a feather bed.
Yeah.
I love this quote.
Yeah, it's very strong.
Yes.
There's a lot of truth in that.
Mm-hmm. Go hard and live the dream, baby.
Yeah, live your dream, people. Do whatever is necessary for you to do, even if it's not comfortable at this moment, even if it's against what everybody around you think. If people tell you that you're doing something wrong, probably you're doing something right. Don't listen to those motherfuckers. They don't know shit about your life.
There is actually something interesting to understand about the dream life, the dream path. So once you choose your dream life, yeah, no matter what you're going through, it still has ups and downs. It is still life. You will still encounter endless obstacles and challenges and hard times. But it is the way that you chose, and it is the path from your heart. So no matter what you're going through, it feels very fulfilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also the challenges, it's only tests. Like you say, all right, I want to live this life, and then life comes and it gives you a challenge. And now it's your choice if you want to overcome this challenge or you want to let the challenge break you down. And if you overcome the challenge, it might take some resources, but damn, it's so worth it. It's amazing. When you overcome a challenge and you keep on growing to the next level, you know, it's like you beat up a boss in a video game and now you can continue in progress in the journey.
Beat up a boss.
Yeah, the more you progress in life, but not the older you get, the more you progress and the higher you try to reach in your abilities and your potential, the crazier the bosses are going to be. And then the challenges can be insane. And you might think that there is no fucking way in the world I'm going to go through this. But if you're really brave and if you really try to go through this challenge and you push with all your effort and creativity and mind and your body and your spirit, all this stuff, then you will find a lot of treasure.
Yes. Nature will lift you up. It will not grind you under.
Definitely.
Speaking of challenges,
speaking of being up and getting high.
Speaking of challenges and speaking of up and being high, do you want to have a little smoky break?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's light it up.
No, not the break. We
not a break. We keep on talking. Yeah. It's all good. Fuck the break.
Yeah, people.
So this is something that I've. So if my choice for skydiving completely opened my life and showed me how great and adventurous and out of this world and surreal life can be, because that is skydiving. Skydiving is just like adventure on ecstasy, you know. You're part of the sky. You're living an old ancient dream of humanity. You're going hard with your friends in the sky. You're flying in crazy speeds and you're looking at each other's eyeballs and you're like being as one, communicating without words. You're going to skydiving festivals where you get to jump all day long, like in groups, learning from incredible flyers, and then you go and jump over some crazy like valley with mountains and lakes, and then you land there, then you have a party. This is how skydiving life is. It's epic.
You're jumping from a plane into a party.
Yes. How fucking epic is that?
What?
Yes.
What?
This is how skydiving festivals are.
This is amazing.
Yes.
You never told me this.
No?
Wow, imagine this. You go to a party, you jump from an airplane. How high is it usually?
So it depends. Yeah. Okay. This brings me to one of the greatest skydiving capitals of the world, Voss, Norway. So Norway, Voss, has contributed a lot to the flying skydiving world. Yeah. Their dynamic flying has been pushed forward. This is the style that I like. It's when we go and jump out of a plane and we fly forward and fly like airplanes. We move forward and we do different dynamic lines and shapes. And it's not just falling down. We move as we fly. That's dynamic flying in one short explanation. So in Norway, where I always wanted to be, there's a great scene of this. And there's a great skydiving place there called Skydive Voss. And there they developed landings that they call in-hops. This is skydiving in its wilderness. Basically, you go and you jump out of the drop zone. They basically choose a cool landing spot somewhere in the nature and they organize a flight there, and then you jump over that place. And they call it in-hops. So, and they don't even show you like an aerial photo of this thing. They kind of tell you a little drawing where are the obstacles, and then you have like a landing tee that shows you the direction of landing. And this is all the preparation you get. And you get to jump into these most amazing locations. Now it's been done all around the world, those in-hops, but the tradition has started in Norway.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
And it's always end up with parties?
Many times, yes. And sometimes you just, finish your landing, and somebody, as you finish your landing, a beer bottle appears in your hand.
Wow. Imagine what if a bird will come and give you a beer bottle while you're jumping. So then you come prepared for the party.
I don't know. People have been jumping.
Pigeon.
I know a bunch of friends that have been like, people that live in Switzerland, and they jump in Ladebrunnen, it's base jumpers. They go like up the mountain, they do some shopping, put some beer bottles and I don't know, cans in their soup in their pants, and then they go and base jump up the mountain, and they go
Can you
wherever
explain
they
what
do.
is base jumping for people who don't know?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, base jumping is like it is jumping from mountains, bridges, buildings, or antennas, or I think I said all the things. Base basically is an acronym for 4 words: B for buildings, A for antenna, S for spam, which stands for bridges, and E for earth, which is mountains. And this is like vegan skydiving. You don't use an airplane. You just hike or climb wherever you need to do, and then you go and you jump. There's many different styles in this world as well. What is mostly familiar in the world is wingsuit base. The people that jump wingsuits and fly next to the mountain. This is the most famous thing. Yeah. This is base jumping. Yeah. It's very dangerous.
Yeah, there are way more injuries there. People die there like flies.
Not
Maybe
like
I'm
flies, but
exaggerating.
but it just has much less room for error. Yeah. And usually people that do base jumps, they have, I don't know, they push hard. And then when you push hard and then you have less room for error, then the casualties rise. I know more than 20 people that are dead from the sport in their early mid-20s, like late, until not even 30, and they're dead. One of the most long-lived base jumpers in the world, his name is Dukes. He lost like more than 100 friends. It's crazy.
He's still alive.
He's still alive. He's like in his late 30s, mid 40s.
Wow.
There's he has a few thousand, like maybe 5, maybe I don't know how many base jumps he has. 5,000 base jumps, something like this.
I lost so many friends.
Wow, it's
Damn,
crazy.
life.
Yeah. So base
It's
jumping.
safer to be a rock star than a base jumper.
Oh, absolutely, man. You have to try really hard to die from overdose.
Wow.
Base jumping, you don't have to try it really hard and you will die. So I'm saving base jumping for old age.
For 90 years old. Hey, come here, fucking punk. Look what I can do.
Yeah, man. When I'm like, okay, I'm done with this like life. I don't know, city life or whatever, like chilled life or whatever stuff that I'll be doing. When I'm old, I'd say old from 70 and up. That's what I imagine. Maybe it will be 80. Who knows? That's when I'm going to go really hardcore. Then I'm going to go and like cruise around in a van or a camper van and jump mountains. This is my plan. I know too many of my friends that died in mid-20s. I don't want to do that. I have a lot of things I want to do now. And base jumping is definitely something that I don't want to miss out because it's one of the most amazing things that a human can do. Fly by a mountain.
Have you tried it?
And no, almost twice.
Almost twice. And what prevented you from actually going for it?
So the first time, the person that wanted to be my mentor, I checked in on him and he was not a very safe person to learn from. He's like, we call it sketchy. Like I called up Dukes, the base jumper that I told you that I know from Australia, this legend dude. And he told me, no, Anna, stay away from this dude. I was like, okay. I trust this man, because then you learn how to hurt yourself. You don't want to do that.
Yeah. This is definitely a place where you don't want to pick up bad habits.
No. And then the second time was actually a dramatic story. So I was planning to start base jumping with what nowadays is one of the best female base jumpers in the world, Amber Forte. And we were about to learn base jumping from one of the legends of base, Espen Fadnes. He's a Norwegian dude that's been jumping like for eternity, and he's incredible. And we were about to learn from him and to go to like somewhere in the middle of the northwest in Norway to Romsdalen, which is like a beautiful, crazy valley where pretty much base jumping was invented. You have like a 1 kilometer wall, so you have like a really long free fall.
You have this crazy fjords there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's like the most beautiful place I've ever been.
Is it in a fjord?
Yeah.
Wow.
I will show you pictures later. It's like, oh.
Valhalla. Odin is coming.
Yes.
Giving you some thunders and what's the name of the water dude?
Thor?
No, Thor is the hammer.
Thor is the hammer, and who's?
There is Poseidon, but he's not in the...
Poseidon is not from the same mythology.
No, he's not Norse. Norwegian. No, he's from... Where is he from?
He's from the Greek mythology.
The Greek. Yeah, I'm not so familiar with those stuff, so I might appear ignorant to you people, but basically I am.
So, what happened there? As we were planning our trip, a friend that went up that area died base jumping. So we were like, the day that we were about to start our trip.
They just smashed into a wall or the water?
So he was trekking away from the mountain. Trekking is like when you move forward fast in your flight. And he didn't clear his line. He didn't plan it good. So he just like, he had a full impact with the ground. He was not flying the right line. And this guy, I was just hanging with this guy like a few nights ago. We sneaked into the to a jacuzzi at night by the river, and I introduced him this epic spot that I knew that it's open at night, and we were just having a great time. And then suddenly he's dead, you know.
That's crazy. Life is so fragile.
Oh, it is.
One moment you have fun with some dude, and then the other moment is just smashed somewhere. I wonder also what do you feel in your last moments?
You say fuck, shit, and then you
but also, you know, your brain is really working hard and fast at this moment. Like everything is high speed, and you see exactly what it is that you did that fucked you up. And you know it's irreversible. No, Bismillah. I had some moments like this in my life, not as extreme like this, but I had some moments in my life when I thought like, oh shit, I did some fucked up stuff. And, you know, like when I injured my knee, that was one of those moments. But luckily, I'm still here and I did not die.
What you thought? You thought, fuck. That's what you were thinking. Fuck.
Yeah, but meanwhile, it happens. Maybe it's that I can speak only from my own experience. But once it happened, I knew exactly what was bad in my movement that made this injury basically happen. Mm-hmm. And everything, it just goes in your head so fast. But the information is there. Mm-hmm. And I think those moments we are very sensitive because, you know, this is our life and everything is slowing down. So we gather information better, or we retain the information better in those moments.
So this brings me back to what I wanted to start talking to you about fails. Fails is something that nowadays I am meeting on a daily basis through skateboarding. And you know, I started skateboarding 1.5 years ago in the Corona time. Basically, there was no more flying. I was not able. By the way, I work as a wind tunnel instructor in Hurricane Factory Berlin. I teach people how to fly in a windy tube. It's like a swimming pool for skydivers. It's a free fall simulator. It's incredible. It makes flight, the sensation that we have in free fall, accessible in an easy manner. You just jump in and you fly. It's amazing. And something that is accessible only by jumping from an airplane previously. So that was not in the Corona. I couldn't skydive in the Corona. So I didn't have my high velocity, high energy sports to do. And I wanted to start doing something. And ended up starting BMX. And through the BMX, I found skateboarding. And through skateboarding, I really encountered what is failing. That brought me to constant meet with fails and their purpose. Yeah. So because I am not a kid, I am 37 years old. I work as an athlete. I work with my body. It's very important for me not to get injured. Yeah. Because if I'm injured, I can't work and it's not fun. I love my job. I love being there. I love doing what I love. So if I cannot do that, it's very sad. So I've decided to take it very seriously when I'm starting these new high-risk sports. And everything that happens to me, every little fail that I do, I investigate it. Yeah, basically that's what I learned from skydiving. Yeah, because in skydiving you don't have a lot of chances for mistakes because mistakes are grave. So you try to really maximize your learning process. Yeah, so you really debrief everything, especially the failures. And that's what I brought with me to the world of skateboarding. Every little misbalance, every little hit of the board that gives me pain, the big falls, I figure the moment it happens, I try to understand what happened. I think after the moment of it has ended, the energy has stopped of the fall. Try to go through the thing, for the motions, and to find what kind of motion I should have done to bring a different result. Either I visualize it or I repeat it with my body. And then, as you said, in those moments, we are very sensitive. Yeah, why are we sensitive? Because it's a surprise, instinctual moment. You're basically thrown to a new situation, and your mind in new situation is sharp and it's receptive. Yeah. Especially when you have training in skydiving to be very aware of this moment. Yeah, because you've been there many times and your mind is used to getting more information. When it just happens to you in the beginning, your mind is still very not open and you can't perceive that much information. But when you have a little bit of practice, then you know how to become more aware in those failure moments and really be in the sharpness of the body. Basically, what we learn in fails imprints really strong because of this super sensitivity. So when you fix and you create a new memory straight away, when you're still in this moment of your instinctive reaction, then it imprints really strongly. If you don't do that, you got to do the same thing you just did because you learn very strong in those moments. And this is like a little key to fix your fails and slowly turn them into tricks. Basically, what is a fail? Fail is an energy. It's a direction somewhere. You just fell. So either you fall with the same direction that you had and you smash into the ground, or you recognize this motion, and then instead of just going straight with the motion, you still have enough time to react and to spin that motion. So you spin that thing and fire weight out. So instead of falling, you're now rolling. Yeah? Sort of one straight vector, you now have a spiral that brings you away from this. So instead of going like this, you're going like this. You're like sliding away from the potential injury that you had.
Yeah, this is what the people who does parkour really know how to get grip of this technique.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's insane.
And then your fuck up turns into a trick, man. This fails become a place of joy when you have access to new moments. So it becomes a well of creativity. Yeah, and this is what skateboarding taught me the most, more than anything, is this beauty in fails. Yeah, if skydiving gave me freedom and wilderness and living the dream and go hard, yeah, skateboarding really faced me with the beauty of fails. And I feel it gave me the power to handle like the shit in my life way better.
Yeah, it's very important to fail. This is the only way we can progress.
It's one of the ways.
It's one of the ways. I think you learn more if you fail at something than you learn if you actually succeed in it. It's
more to say it's like inevitable way.
It happens, yeah.
It happens, you know.
Yeah,
it's just like
happens.
A process, you know. Yeah. Very rarely you succeed something from the first time. Yeah. It's more like only if you have done something before, then like the different components that bring that something new, then you might have the chance to make it perfect from the first time. You know, you have like the skill to make it perfect from the first time. But you haven't developed those skills priorly. You usually you will need to develop those skills in order to do that thing.
Yes. And I think also what happens when we are failing, and it also depends how we are failing. But when we are failing, there is a very sour cocktails of emotions. And these sour feelings, this really not comfortable sensations that we have when we fail. It also depends on the fail. You know, sometimes we can be very comfortable with our fails. One of the things that I think a lot of people are failing is they're stuck in certain life. And it's a life that usually don't like to be in. But the failure is not so big, it's not so sour. So they can continue with that. But some failures are very sour. Very, very sour. Like, for example, if I would do a podcast, and it will be an amazing podcast, but then I realize the microphones are off, it will be very embarrassing. And just to have this cocktail of feelings and emotions and that are so uncomfortable, I think this is such a great teaching. And I hope people can relate with that. Can I have a little bit as well from this delicious cacao?
Oh, yes.
Sound of cacao.
Can you hear it?
A little bit. I can put some compressor on it.
Yeah, that's exactly what skateboarding is teaching me, to feel that sour feeling that you're feeling and recognize it as energy. And then I start asking myself now, when I meet in my daily life those moments, okay, how can I turn that energy into a role, into something that takes me into a trick rather than a fail? Yeah, before that, I would dwell on that sourness and I will feel its pain and I will, you know, like be like, fuck, you know. I wouldn't be curious about it and how I can like transform it into something epic. And skateboarding gave me that tool.
Yes. Yeah, this is beautiful.
Yeah, man.
I like how you said that, you know, you can basically crash in and this is a failure, or you can learn how to spin it elegantly in a way that you will help the energy continue moving and not crashing. You know, you have the inertial law. Something in movement will like to stay in movement. So maybe we can steer it a little bit instead of letting it crash. But where else in your life you can implement it? Because this is very physical. So let's say you're on a skateboard and you have the inertia because you're moving in a certain direction, and then you meet something unexpectable. Unacceptable. It is unacceptable to do something unexpectable. English-speaking people. What is this language? Why Spanish is not the language of the world? I don't understand this. Spanish, it's beautiful, it's easy, it sounds amazing. Why English?
No sé,
or
no
at least
sé,
we don't
señor.
speak in yeah. Señorita, so. Entonces. What else in your life? Let's say something that is less physical. How can you implement this idea of moving the energy? Do you have any kind of experiences with that? It's not physical.
Let me try and think about it now, because it's something that I've been like focusing on in the last 2 months. So let me just go from my brain if I can like share with you an example. So might have an emotional direction that I would share. Okay, that's actually a funny one, and it's a tip that might help a lot of people. And let's see if I can like correlate it correctly. So what you just said, when I strip it down to concepts and its building blocks, it's energy. Yeah, the fail, what happened, it's energy. Either you can feel the pain of this energy, this will be the crash, or you can try and take it elsewhere, keep it going, yeah, and
when you
lift
say
it
energy,
up.
you mean the impact?
So energy, the motion, you know, if you talk about skateboarding, that's the motion, you know, the fail, something happened, you flipped your leg, now you're flying, and you're like crashing on the ground. In your life, it's an action, yeah. That's the energy. With action, energy, something happened, you know, this exchange. I'm not talking about the spiritual way of things, more like the physical way of things, yeah? Something happened, you know? You have the potential energy of that moment, the interaction that created this wave of, I don't know, something, whatever. That's the stripped down energy. That's like the X, yeah? So either you crash that X in pain on the asphalt, or in pain in your body, in your emotional pain, Or you can stay curious and recognize the spontaneousness of the moment. Okay, something happened. I feel that. Okay, I decide what this feeling is and what can I do with this feeling. Yeah. So either you go, oh, that's a shitty feeling, I'm going to fall. And like, whoa, that's a feeling that I can maybe do something else with. And now I'm going to try to put it into something more real in life. So there's this one human that I have had a crush on for way too long. It's not a successful crush. This human is not interested in me. But for some reason, the person lingers in my brain, in my emotion. And I've tried long time, different ways to like deal with it. Yeah. Fighting it, resisting, not thinking about it, whatever. And eventually my being comes back to thinking about this person. And I'm like, okay, what do I do? What would I do if it is a skateboard fail? How would I turn this into a fucking trick? Because it's been really like haunting me, man. Yeah. So it's like, okay, it's present. I tried all these things. Now I'm going to see this, whenever this person comes into my brain, I'm going to imagine it as a little demon of desire. I'm going to make it like a cute little demon in my brain. The moment this person comes up, it becomes a little cute demon figure with little wings and like, oh. And now instead of fighting my enemy, I'm going to make it my friend. And I'm just like cuddle this little demon, you know, and it's like, oh, hello. And then I have this like calm feeling about it. And then I'm not bothered by it anymore. And I suddenly, it's okay. And it even makes me smile and laugh because it's funny. So this is a very more emotional, metaphorical way that I've brought this concept. Hope it makes sense.
It makes sense.
It's really helped me in the last few days. Seriously, I've been way more calm about this little demon person of desire that pumps into my brain.
Yeah. It's not only desire. There is so many, there are a lot of different notes and flavors of emotions that are coming into this one big character or archetype. I don't know, whatever it's coming up. It's not that it's just a demon, probably there are a lot of past experiences, like being neglected or being rejected. All those times that you wanted someone and they did not wanted you back, or, maybe it can be also something with our parents that we experienced at the age of like a few months old.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, yeah, how a childhood trauma can like sometimes reflect its wave itself so far away in life,
Yeah, what do you think about the idea that we also inherit traumas from our grandparents and our ancestors?
I think it makes sense, your body, your cells, they remember, they have their own kind of like everything kind of, we have part of our blood, it's the ancestry, genetics of our ancestors. So it's part of how our body is, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes completely sense.
Everything has a memory to it, an experience. Like we experience something. I'm sure the cells have kind of a experience, their own little life existence. They're alive as well. Yeah, we all constantly discover how we thought, oh, this animal is not intelligent, and then we say, oh, we were wrong. This animal is probably intelligent. So the universe is reflecting itself in so many ways. It is intelligent. The life is intelligent. Everything in its being has like its life experience. It's not like this is dead, we are alive. It's just different perspective. So yeah, I think it makes sense.
Yeah. But then imagine if you have a trauma that you carry, let's say, 6 generations. You don't really feel it because it became so usual and normal that it became part of you.
That can what?
It became part of you.
Part of you, okay.
So I don't know if you're familiar with this, but I think all of us are do, when we listen to music very loudly, then the music that we hear in less volume, it doesn't sound as saturated as the loud music. And if there is a noise that is constantly going, so we get used to it and somehow we can filter it. But it's still there. And it's just a distortion of our perception. Also, what happens that we are not aware of is that we are flying in basically empty space in like 20 kilometers per second on Earth. Like he's moving really fast around the sun. And also facts is that we don't know what a different sun feels like. We know how the sun of our feel like. We know how the heat feels on our skin, how it looks from the spectrum of the colors. So there are many stuff that became so part of us that we don't even feel that they exist because we're so used to them. And how many of our behaviors today, we don't even know that we are behaving like that. We have absolutely no clue about it. And when you said that you realize how emotions grow up inside of you and you actually have the control to do something with them, well, this is really remarkable.
You're describing it way better than it actually is, man. I still react to my emotions, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But,
it's not like I'm a robot and I'm in control, full control. No.
This is Germany. It's difficult.
It's getting
not
better.
To go there.
It's getting better. And I'm saying
I'm have
coming
a little
to
bit
balance faster. That's a better way to put it.
Yeah, but this work is so valuable. It's so valuable. It's crazy. And thank you for doing this work. And you inspire others to do so as well. And yeah, hopefully the people will learn something, the people who are listening to this.
It's funny to share.
Yeah, it's not easy to notice what we're doing while we're doing, especially if there are very intense emotions happening at this time.
Well, then you have some time to ponder about the shit, yeah? That's hopefully we learn. Hopefully we learn and we have some, then we give ourselves the time to reflect. You know, I feel like when I have free time, I think free time is very important so we can reflect a little bit on the life and have time not to do anything, just to not to be in constant mission mode. This resting time is good, reflection time, allowing our body to digest what has happened to us and to implement knowledge and to become more aware of what's happening. It's very valuable this is the free time. I like to dedicate time for that as well.
And how do you do so? What kind of activities? Is the skateboard part of it?
The skateboard is a huge part of it. Always when I go skating almost every day. And I like to go at night because this is just like my time. Nobody's there. The skate park is mine. I have very funny random experiences in the skate park at night. And every time I go, I do like at least 2 or 3 meditation sessions as well. I'm very grateful. I have plenty of free time in my life, and I'm very grateful for that. Besides my favorite job in the world, teaching how to fly, that I'm very grateful to do. I have time to do skateboarding, which is I'm absolutely obsessed about it.
How epic is that? You just do whatever you love to do.
It's incredible, man. I am so stoked and grateful that this is the life that I have created. Wow, I'm every day really like grateful for that and pushing forward with just you keep on evolving. Appreciating the moment and seeing the evolution that I envision, something like that.
You imagine the next steps already.
Yes.
Yeah, you're crazy also with the way you think about stuff, because you have projects that you share with me. When we met, a little bit after we met, I remember you invited me to this event in the tunnel, and I played the guitar while you were flying, but it was so loud inside you could not even hear what happened on the outside. And then you did also light photography with Gunnar.
Gunnar Heilmann, yeah, he's a great light photographer. You can check him out on Instagram.
He's incredible.
Wow. He light paints, is part of the community since many years. And he's doing it with great passion and professionalism. Yeah, he has beautiful work. I have 2 of his photographs hanging in my room. They're stunning.
Yeah, and you invited me to this event. It was super creative.
I'm happy. This is my vision of flight, and what I want to create is to bring a human flight to the art world, to merge it with different kinds of arts and see what new ways we can create to express ourselves. Because the wind space, the flight space, the wind tunnel is like a blank 3D space to try out shit. So much things haven't been done, and I see it as a lab to experience and to experiment with the human body in flight, and it's so accessible and you can try so many things. And art is a whole new world to... It's like infinity and infinity are coming together, like two galaxies are crashing, you know? So that's where my direction is.
What is your plans? You have some ideas you want to implement? You have some creative thoughts?
So we are in the post-production state, and it's about to come out reels and photos from a production that I did in the wind tunnel in collaboration with The Code. It's the most dope and sexy boutique in Berlin of like fetish fashion from Berlin designers and European designers. It's really high-end and beautiful and has a cool vibe in the store. So I just was there one day and I saw the window. I was like, damn, what is that? And I came in and I really fell in love with the whole vibe of the place. A beautiful couple, Dor and Michel, they ran the place. They opened it up in the Corona and really built their brand like beautifully. Like, wow, like I was impressed that they started this in the Corona, and this place is amazing and has a vibe, and there are cool events in the place. Wow.
Where is it located?
Next to Kit Kat. Next to Kit Kat.
They know their shit.
In Kapenicker Straße, yeah, man. It's really cool. So we did a fashion shoot in the wind tunnel with two more flyers. My friend Emily, and she's a professional flyer as well. She worked in the other wind tunnel in Berlin. And Sebastian, and he's my colleague, and he's an incredible talent in flight. And we were all styled with kinky fashion, and we were doing flying with that shit. And we had an amazing photographer, Elena. She's like a fashion kink photographer. And we had an amazing videographer that was doing the video for the reels. Luke from Escapism. That's his like artistic name. He has a beautiful video production company. And then I met him in the airport. I met this dude like in September in the airport, and when I went to Tallinn, we just vibed, and then wow, we have doing like projects together. Super nice. He became a really good friend and like a collaborator. So very excited by this. So this is the latest thing that I did in the post-production. This is about to come out.
How can people look at it? Where can we see it?
So it's not out yet. It's going to be out in about 2 weeks maximum. And then we're going to start publishing this stuff.
Where? Feed us with information.
So The Code will be sharing and publishing this and on their Instagram channel, The Code Berlin. Check it out. What a cool place. And of course on the channels of the photographer, Elena San Francisco, Escapism, Luke the videographer, myself, Galperin Anna, Emily Holden, the flyers, Free Flyer. So we're going to be sharing this, and I will definitely share it to you. And maybe we're going to be publishing this in a magazine. Let's see.
Wow, serious project.
Yeah, I'm really cool. Happy about it. I can, cool. Maybe I can give you a little sneak peek. But
yes, please do.
Could give you a little sneak peek photo look, but this is not for publishing yet.
No.
This is like a little sneak peek.
Do you think there is a technology that somehow they can copy the sound waves that come through the microphone and create an image of the room?
That's very interesting. I'm sure you can build this shit.
Is there technology like this? If someone knows, let me
know. You want to reconstruct the room?
It would be interesting. You can spy on people based on the voice.
Check this out. It's a photo.
Wow. Is this you?
Yes.
Wow, crazy makeup. Crazy outfit, wow. So there is the moon. It's been edited.
Yeah.
Nice. So it's been.
You cannot talk really about the photo.
I don't know what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
this is just for your eyes.
Just for my eyes.
And this is one of my favorites in the freeway.
Hey, that's a problem with me. I just start to analyze things.
Yeah, so sorry,
Wow.
we're like teasing you here. This will come out soon. Stay tuned to check out the project of some kink flight.
All I can say, it's beautiful. I can describe it as sexy hip hop punk. Yeah, really nice. And you have videos as well.
Yeah, I'll show you the reel later, man.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Wow, so cool. Yeah, and you also have this kind of attraction for fashion, for clothing. Well, what is it about it that attracts you?
I find it is an easy way to express in an artistic way, and it's like part of life, you know. Getting dressed is part of life, and why
Yeah,
not
you get dressed
enjoy
so
it?
crazy to parties. Sorry for interrupting you.
No
This
worries.
is insane. You upload to your Instagram sometimes, like those crazy face makeup that you make.
It's like I find it very gentle.
Wow. And you know, it's for me, I feel, I wish I could have my camera in the background, then I would take photos of you with that.
If you
And
want,
then
I can do a
continue.
look with the pearls, like party look, and we can do like a session one day.
Yeah, let's do it.
That could be fun.
Let's do more photos together.
Huh?
Let's do more photos.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it here with the black background.
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah, that's cool. Maybe we can we can borrow some clothes from the code and do some cool photo shoot.
Yeah, always.
Yay!
Always. I love to support the Code Berlin.
Ah, sweet. So wildlife fashion, you got it.
Yeah.
I answered that. Yeah, I worked in fashion as a complimentary job for skydiving when I was in Israel, and I got to work this amazing boutique, Sophia, in Jerusalem, ran by one of the most cool ladies I ever met, Miri. She was like this fashionista of Jerusalem, bringing together young Israeli designer stuff and dressing up all the dope ladies of Jerusalem. It was very interesting, and I really enjoyed styling. I found because clothing is just fun, you know. It can be boring, it can be uptight, or it can be fun, you know. And you can enjoy what you put in yourself, and it's just another way to express yourself. Why not?
Have you done some projects as a stylist?
No, not like no, I was not as like a stylist in photo shoots. I was not I was styling the ladies in the shop. And like being the right hand of the shop owner, Miri. I haven't done fashion productions, but yeah. And like this whole thing, that was kind of my guiding hand, bringing this whole together. This is something that I envisioned, the latest photo shoot, and brought all the parts of it together. So I guess I'm exploring my creative direction part as well, kind of like growing into that.
I want to start producing video clips for my music.
That's dope. That's exciting.
Yeah, it is.
Oh. I'm eating berries now. Berries is like my favorite thing.
We love berries.
I destroy a lot of berries.
We love so much berries. Berries are so perfect. What is it about berries that are so satisfying? They're also quite healthy for you, you know, as a fruit. They don't have so much sugar. They're really...
They're like
good for you.
antioxidants.
Yeah. They're like superfood. Those
I don't
berries.
know. I eat them in great amounts.
Very good.
This is my health.
You know, there is a bear that lives somewhere in Alaska, I think. He reheard someone telling this story that he heard from someone telling the story. But there is a bear, allegedly, that that he eats is berries. This is most of his diet.
He's a berry bear. I'm probably a berry bear.
Yeah, probably. You're a berry bear.
I was just thinking the other day that like probably bear is one of my spirit animals. I grew up, I was
Bear.
born in Russia. Bear, a Russian bear. And then I grew up in Jerusalem, which is the city sign is a bear.
And
Boom.
also you're in Berlin.
And in Berlin. And here it's like a bear. Yes.
I love the Hebrew word of bear.
Dove.
Dove.
Dove, 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 dove.
I have a really good friend. Her name is Teona. Shout out to Teona. I love her. She's incredible. She invested in my voice and she really taught me how to sing. I owe a lot to this woman. She's crazy. And we always like call each other Dove.
Dove.
And it's funny because she is really tiny, but she's bare in her energy.
Yeah, it's like, spirit animals is not only the body build, it's as well the energy, how you kind of like project yourself.
It's the how do you call it? The etherical body.
The etherical body.
The etherical body. The ethereum.
The ethereum. I think I had a really nice progress lately with the meditation and feeling my etheric body. I was kind of like trying to project the chakra energy and to feel it in my halo sphere, the ethereal body. It was interesting. I was trying to imagine like once I go feel the energy of the chakra, like where they're spaced. So I feel like an energy of ball and I imagine it. And then I feel and I imagine how it expands and its light is a light that goes all over my body. And then I build this rainbow of layers of glow around my body correlated with the chakras, like a light and a sphere, a light and a sphere, a light and a sphere, a ball and the shape of the body, I find that imagination is like the software of our subtle activities in the body that we don't always are aware of. And through imagining them, we can learn how to operate those subtle abilities of the body. Because for the mind, the visualization, the imagination is just as like acting it. And that means that you are doing something. What are you doing? You're developing a certain ability that you didn't know that you can. And then you can suddenly recognize a new layer of reality.
Imagination is a powerful tool.
Yes. I am a genie. Imagine.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra is you all know it, but it's a translation from Aramaic that I will create as I speak.
Yeah. What is it? It's you have some thoughts that come into your head, but then you also have the choice to really do stuff. And there is the voice that makes the choice, which is the voice on top of those thoughts, because the thoughts are not you. This is what all the great yogis claim, right? You're not your thoughts. It's like clouds.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see yourself as a cloud, so you might get mad because, it's rainy. You might be chilled, or there might not be any cloud on certain days. But if you're not a cloud, you can still make some conscious choices. And you can be the voice on top of those, over the clouds,
The observer. The awareness.
Yeah, exactly.
The pure awareness. Who absorbs the absorber?
And if you can reach this state and you can imagine from this is very, very powerful. It's accelerating reality. This kind of states.
Yes. I feel like skateboarding really helped me to get there. It really me. It really helped me to evolve as a human.
Yeah.
Don't get bored, skateboard, people.
For me, it was jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu becomes really popular lately. And the moment I started to do it, I had no fucking clue. I never did martial arts in my life before that. Nothing.
It's incredible now.
Nothing. And, I was there and we were sparring and I had no idea what to do. I cannot protect myself. I have no idea how to. It was really not fun for the guy who sparred with me because he was pretty good. He was also pretty big, dude. And, just to have this moment, this feeling, it opened up so much.
When you face your instinct.
Yeah, to be humbled.
Yeah, you see what you really do when you have to do something. And then once you recognize what you did, then you have the ability to either to improve it or to repeat it.
Yeah, and this is the voice that overviews everything. And this voice, sometimes it's very quiet. Some people it's louder. And this voice, if you listen to it, it really takes you to some crazy places in reality. It accelerates everything. Everything becomes faster, more saturated, more satisfying. It's deeper. It's good life.
Yes.
It's how we're supposed to live.
It's living from the heart.
Yeah.
Not driven by fear, you know, that your choices come from bravery, from love. This is like by loving yourself, loving what you do, and loving life rather than choosing from fear. This is what they mean. Love is the answer. Yeah, you gotta, choose from the heart and not be choosing from fear. I mean, what is the opposite of fear?
Is it love?
Courage? Love? I don't know. Love is like love and hate.
Curiosity.
The opposite of fear is courage. Is it? Yes. Yes, it's like bravery. So I guess this actually brings us back to the first thing that we started talking about.
Yeah.
That nature loves courage.
Yes.
By hurling yourself into the abyss, you will discover that
You
it is a feather
there.
bed.
Find a way. Find a fucking way to push yourself into this abyss. The easiest way, and this is definitely not a recommendation, is to take 5 grams of those funky little, I don't know, what is it? An organism, an alien species. What is this stuff? Oh, there is someone at the door. We're gonna take a break. We're back.
We're back. Hello.
So funny. We did not remember what we talked about, so we heard it the last minute. And we realized what we were talking about. And it's funny because I'm gonna cut it, so it's crazy. Yeah, when I cut it, I just make part of reality disappear forever.
Part of reality. I don't hear myself, dude.
Oh shit. And now it's supposed to be better.
Now I hear myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're back into my ears.
Hell yes.
It's like my voice is reverberating in my brain, back and there, back and forth. Like
all this podcast is all in your ears. That's where it exists.
Yeah, in the cave between my ears.
That's the only place it exists.
Yeah, man. We were talking before we started talking about psychedelics, which I really recommend. Basically, the only drug that I recommend is psychedelics.
Yeah, me too. And I'm not a doctor.
Yes.
Or any professional.
We're not professionals in this field.
At nothing.
We're just like, how do you say, astronauts? But the
psychonauts.
Psychonauts, yeah, genau. Yeah.
It is an atmosphere that outside of this reality, it's like you're jumping out of Earth, out of our natural habitat.
Yeah, natural tuning,
reality.
Different tuning. Suddenly you're in a different tune. I find it's very interesting. It's like one can face themselves and, and grow. It's like a little journey. They're always interesting. It's not a mood drug. It's an exploration drug, substance that helps humanity to rediscover itself constantly.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
there
definitely
is this,
recommend this
the
shit.
theory of the monkey that ate mushrooms.
So,
and that's how basically we became humans and so intelligent.
So so it's either with mushrooms, but I feel like that. So this is my vision. I feel like that. What makes sense to me, evolution. The human being is actually a descendant from the tree and the monkey. I feel
from
like
the tree.
So the consciousness of the trees have traveled to the monkey body, and thus the human has been created. And this is like the Adam and Eve story, the fruit of knowledge. Just like chatting with a friend, who's like, I was thinking how the human is similar to a tree. You have many things in our body are like reflecting how a tree is built, even our shape. Like there's not too many creatures in on Earth. They're like erectile, like a tree in the human. A lot of them walk on fours or swim or fly. And basically the trees, they were like hanging out for a while, on Earth, and they're connected through the earth and with the mushies and hang out all there. And they were like, that's how they experience life. And then suddenly came all these mammals that started cruising around and climbing in them. So the tree became curious. Oh, I wonder how it's like to be able to travel. So the tree has schemed, and then he produced this fruit of knowledge. That's the Adam and Eve story. I had in my just this connection, different stories in my brain. Yeah, There's no real scientific basis of it, but this is how it makes sense to me. And then the monkey ate this fruit of knowledge and became aware, and that's how the humans started. Like, that's the dynasty of the humans. You know, that's how I imagine it to be. That's how it makes sense to me.
The tree influenced energetically on monkeys.
The tree
energetically on life, and then
poured his subconscious is conscious. It's like the consciousness of the tree. That's what inhabited the monkey body, and thus became the human.
The tree imagined humans, and here we are.
Yeah, so we're basically not only evolution from monkeys, we're evolution from trees. It's like tree and monkey having a baby. This is human.
Highly likely.
And that's how their skin, you know, it was like we shed all the
hairs. How mushrooms come into the story?
How the mushrooms. So I told this idea to somebody, and he said, "What about mushrooms? Maybe we're like sons of mushrooms, sons of mushrooms and monkeys." And I said, "That is definitely a good idea as well."
Yeah, we have a lot of mushrooms and bacteria in our body.
Maybe like the Neanderthals, they were from mushrooms or they were from trees, and we are the opposite. And you know, and one of the humanoids, like all these different plants, were like, okay, we're pushing our evolution. We're like impregnating all these like mammals and turning them into humanoids. Because the trees are they do communicate between them. There's beautiful studies about that, how they're all connected and they help each other, you know, and that was their curiosity to evolve, to move around. They were like fucking jealous of the animals. Like, oh, these animals, yeah, man, trees. We're just walking trees.
Did you ever thought how tree experiences life? What the tree experience when a human comes close to him?
I think the tree is stoked. It's like we're like, you know, their sons and daughters. We're like their descendants.
How is a tree even experience time?
This is pretty fascinating to try and imagine that. How does a tree experience time? So the motion of light and the change of the seasons through the temperatures, through all the physical things that happen to it, and its growth and its motion is kind of like in one place, you know, and then everything kind of like revolves around it. So imagine like we're like in Earth and we're looking out to space. So this is like the tree looking out from one spot around him. So we are like the space for the tree and the tree is like the Earth.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I've seen recently, like on the internet, I'm looking for it now on my phone. There is a word map as you were a fish. So how is the word appears to fish? And I found it so fascinating.
Read it to me.
Fish word map. Yeah, check it out.
Okay. For the fish eye, this is the world map.
Yeah, you can recognize Antarctica.
Oh, okay, now I see the things. That's so funny. It's like only for the oceans.
Yeah, and all the shores, like this is the limits.
That's so fascinating. That's really cool. Please send this shit to me. It's really cool. I'll be tripping on this.
Crazy. And if you were a bird, you know, birds see so differently. All the colors that we see on the birds, I don't know, you for sure noticed. Sometimes birds, they have these really shiny colors. And
I love birds. I watch them all the time.
Yeah, they're funky, weird dinosaur creatures.
Well, one thing that I can share with you, when I saw a rainbow under my canopy, like in the sky, when I was in the sky, then the rainbow is not a bow, it is a full circle. It is full circle. Sphere. It's a complete huge sphere. And I was fucking double. And it was one of the most amazing things that I ever saw in my life. And if we're talking about rainbows, I saw a rainbow at night. It is a silver moon light. It's like the spectrum was like silvery, very light, and it was reflected from the moon. It's a very rare rainbow. It's less rare next to waterfalls, but it was in the Aussie desert in the Australian like outback, where the sky is so clear. It was like so rare, never rains there, it suddenly rain. And there at 4 fucking a.m. you have a huge giant silvery rainbow, boom, in the horizon. Wow. We were like, what the fuck is that?
Was it big and clear?
Yeah, man, it was
visible?
Big and clear. There was like a rainbow, and the whole thing is like it opened right in front of you. We were in a huge piece of land that was very flat, and the skies are very clear because very far away from everything. So you see, like for eons, you feel like there is no atmosphere between you and space at night. You see the stars like so fucking clear.
This is the shit.
Yes, there we had a skydiving festival. That was my first experience.
This is where you dove from an airplane. Dove? This is no.
Skydived.
Skydived.
Yeah, I skydived.
Into a party?
There, no. This is where I landed with a big skyvan with a bunch of really fucking awesome people. I flew into that place. I didn't land there in my canopy. I flew in with one of the airplanes that we would be jumping from. So I had a really fucking dope flight with a really cool crew. That event changed my life. It's called the Funny Farm. That's how the skydiving event is called, the Funny Farm. It's a very exclusive, the best free flyers. It's a style of flying of Australia and joining together, and they're like making really fucking epic jumps in the Australian outback. It's like a private farm that they turn into a drop zone. Like when you fly up, all you see is still the farm. It's a huge fucking place, man. It's like, I don't know, bigger than Israel. I don't know. Yes.
It's in the middle of Australia, right?
It's like it's still on the east coast, but it's like 6 hours west from the east coast. So like it's still far away.
How many hours you need to drive to get into the dead center of Australia?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have this number popping out of my pocket.
How far were you from the center?
Still far away. I was still far away. I was not in the Northern Territory. There was like, if this is Australia, I was like here. This is the middle. It was still far away.
And that was 6 hours from the shore, from the ocean. Wow, it's a huge country.
Yeah, man. Australia is around about the size of America, I think.
No way.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
I think so.
Really?
Like, not sure. Maybe slightly bigger, but slightly smaller. But let's compare. Let's check Google.
But also sometimes those world maps can be very misleading.
Yes, I know. Actually, I'm aware of this fact.
Sometimes they do Africa very tiny, and America looks so big.
Australia.
God bless America.
Versus America. America in size. Versus Australia versus US size. Size of country. Just sort of curiosity, we're gonna Google that shit. With a land size of Australia is only slightly smaller than the United States. I was correct. Boom.
What is slightly? They have some numbers?
So the one is almost 9.8 million square kilometers, and Australia is 7.6 million square kilometers.
So it's around 80% of the US.
Yeah, slightly smaller.
Wow,
Yes.
it's huge.
It's huge.
And it's mostly populated by kangaroos.
It's mostly populated in the shores. They have like a fish map.
Is there a society of kangaroo in Australia?
No, but they're like roaming the land. They're actually very delicious.
Yes, they are very delicious.
I actually really enjoyed it. So this would be the native cow.
Did you eat a steak?
Yes, I had a steak.
I had a burger. I never had a full steak.
No, I had a steak. I haven't had a burger. Well, man, Australia is a wonderful place. I would really love to visit
Liver
again.
Of a kangaroo. It sounds delicious.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I haven't tried that. Wow.
Wild kangaroo. I wonder what it tastes like, because I ate a burger. Probably it was commercial.
Uh-huh.
But it was a burger, so it's processed anyway. When you eat the actual meat, and I don't know if there are farms of kangaroos there. I think not, because they're very overpopulated.
No, they're just roaming the land. They're wild. A lot of them are wild.
And I think the government encourage the people to hunt them.
Sometimes, yeah.
To control the population.
Yeah, definitely have this stuff.
I wonder what is a raw
A what?
taste of a raw.
A raw.
Raw.
A raw.
Yeah, well, I have an awful English accent, huh?
No, it's all right. No worries.
It's getting better.
Yes, cool, man. No worries, mate.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Australia is really cool.
So a raw taste of a kangaroo, what it's like. I know what it's like when I ate a Bambi or when I ate a pig, a wild pig. But a wild kangaroo, I'm curious.
I really enjoyed it. I can say it was very flavorful. Like I would say it closer to lamb taste than cow taste. But it still has its own flavor like any meat. Yeah.
There are some animals I would like to eat in my life. Yeah, I'm there are two things that I'm very curious about, and there sounds like maybe complete opposite for some people here that will listen to this. But I would really love to try all the fruits that are there. I really want to go hunt for fruits. I love fruit. It's so amazing that there is this very sweet stuff that grows, and it got so many flavors. And also animals. They're very interesting. First time I ate frog, it was crazy. It was a combination between a chicken and a fish. It was insane.
Oh, interesting.
And I guess it was not the best quality frog. I never ate a frog since then. It was, of course, in France.
Did you eat escargot? Did you eat the chabloul, the escargot?
No, I did not eat.
How do you call it in English? The snail.
Gary.
Damn, Gary. Shit. Oh, man.
I would love to try it, yeah. Definitely. I ate squid for the first time last year.
It's pretty good.
In this year, sorry. Yeah. You need to know how to make a squid, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you need to cook it first in boiling water. Yeah, for around an hour. And then you can start working with it if you want to fry it afterwards or to make something out of it.
Yeah, my dad tried. Didn't work so much when we were in Cyprus. He didn't make the most yummy squid.
Recently?
Yeah, when I was in Cyprus in September.
What failed there in the process?
I don't know. I gotta ask him. But it was not the shit. It was a little bit more rubbery, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. Also, mushrooms, they're very funky as well.
Mushrooms,
I talk about champignon mushrooms.
normal edible mushrooms.
The legal ones that you can buy in a supermarket. If you want to fry them and you put just oil or something, it will not fry them. Somehow the oil will be soaked into the mushrooms. But if you want to fry them, you need first to cook them in water. Yeah.
I never do that, and my mushrooms get fried.
It depends how much oil you put.
I don't know. I have a very easy method. I just don't wash the mushrooms before that.
I also don't wash the mushrooms.
No, it always works. I never cooked mushrooms before frying them.
Try once. Cook them in boiling water for 10 minutes, and let the boiling water steam up, and then fry them. They will be way more fried. You know, I'm talking about like onion fried.
Okay. And I understand the concept that the water pulls the oil away, and then it crunches it up better.
I have no idea what the water does. I know it's also very healthy to cook mushrooms a lot.
The mushrooms are more robust and they don't fill with the oil, but because the mushroom is full of water. And then the water and oil don't mix, so they repel the oil, and then the mushroom is not getting filled with oil.
Is this scientific?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. I have no idea.
The water and oil don't mix. Water and oil repel each other. They don't mix instantly, you know.
I think something else happens when you cook the mushrooms in the water, in boiling water. There is a lot of chemical reactions that happens that I'm not aware of that. You know, it's like when you cook meat in a long stew. I think it's like 3 hours. This is the golden rule. Until 3 hours, it's tasty. Maybe it's sweet. Maybe it's soft. But something happens after the 3 hours, like everything's combined more, something opens up. And then the meat really starts to become soft, and the fats so very much melt. Thank you, yeah. Some berries left over.
Yeah, because I just eat it, you see, I go rawr, rawr, rawr.
It's very kind of you to give me some berries.
Yeah, man. When I invite people to eat berries with me, I tell them, you gotta eat fast, yeah, because they will be gone.
The berry monster is here.
I'm actually a fruit dragon.
Fruit dragon.
Fruit dragon. I
You told me
destroy
that you
fruits.
like to sneak into little people's houses and steal all their berries while they sleep.
No, people don't have the amount of berries that I eat. I need to supply myself, man. People buy like one small of berries. I don't buy one. I buy six packs of berries and like about 1.5 kilos of blueberries.
Do you harvest berries when it's season?
No, maybe I should because I destroy it in many big amounts. But the berries in Germany are so good. This is like my joy of a fruit here. I'm like grateful for this. And then the strawberries in the summer are golden. If you're ever visiting in Berlin in the summer, get those strawberries from the strawberry booths. They're delicious. They're a little bit expensive, but they're worth every penny. Or every cent, better to say. Visit
it's
in
so
Deutschland,
awesome.
yeah.
You have those boots. They look like a big strawberry and you buy a delicious strawberry from them. And
yes.
it's all over the streets in Berlin in the summer.
Yes, how dope is that?
It's beautiful. Even if you don't buy it, just look at it. And you see strawberries, you become happy.
They're really nice, good strawberries. And it's like locally grown. So yeah, you're supporting the economy. Oh, Berlin. Let's say a few words about Berlin. What a wonderful, 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 wonderful city.
Listen, I worked as a tree worker, kind of a helper, and we worked in Kreuzberg. And maybe it was Friday, I'm not so sure, or close to the weekend. And there was a lady, and she came, she had, yes, of course, light it up.
We're gonna light it up.
Oh, yes. Shout out to Mary Jane.
Mary Jane, you are so sweet. So sweet.
Listen to this story then. So we were working there in the street. I was basically on the ground while two people were cutting the trees. And a lady came. She had like 6 or 7 baskets of strawberries. She held it in a big carton. And she came towards me. I could feel it. She wants to approach me. And she gave to me, she like approached me with the carton of this like 6-7 boxes of strawberries. I thought she wants to give me all of them, but she wanted to give me only one of them, which was super nice. It was very, very beautiful of her. And this sensation, just working inside of a street in Berlin in Kreuzberg, and all of a sudden this beautiful lady comes with a basket of strawberries.
Sounds like a moment from a dream. Suddenly you have a berry fairy.
You know this, the thing, it's called the random act of kindness.
Mm-hmm.
This is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Well, wherever I have berries with me, something that I like to do, I like to go, or like if I'm in the skate park and I have a lot of berries with me, then I will go and tour around and offer everybody berries. And when I say to offer people berries, I say, don't take one, take a bunch. Like one is never satisfying.
One berry?
No, I say no, one berry is not allowed, or you take more.
People take one berry?
People take one berry, man.
The minimum is 5.
No, that's what I say. You cannot take one berry. You take like a little handful so you can enjoy the berry, Can't take one. It's sad. It's like one berry. I got just one berry.
Do you like berry in this kind of form, or do you like also berry jams?
So...
And berry fermented stuff.
I can eat the jams. They're good as well. But the real shit wins. Like, jams are good, but if I have real fresh berries, they're way better.
What about dry berries? Have you tried this?
Some of them are nice. Like, I really like dried mango. It's not a berry, but yeah. It's like a fruit. We're talking about berries, and then I switched to the mango because that's the dried thing that I like.
But strawberry is not a berry.
It is what is that?
It's a nut.
It's a nut. It's nuts that it's nut.
Yeah, how do you call it? The
naughty nut.
The naughty nut. Berlin. The naughty nut.
Oh, Berlin. Oh, I love Berlin. It's so free. It's so uncomplicated. It's not posh. You can just be here and do your thing and let people be. And yeah, I really love this place. Really grateful that I can live here, and life brought me here and I choose it. Thank you, life.
Did you came here by accident, or was it planned to come to Berlin?
Never planned to ever live in Berlin, but I got the job here in the wind tunnel, so I came here. I was looking for this wind tunnel job for a long time. when I started applying for this job around 2012, there was not many women in the world that was doing their job, wind talent instructor, because it's a physical job. And of course, in the beginning, men don't tend to give physical jobs to women. It's like a classical move. And but I have started applying and applied everywhere. And I'm a small size woman, so it's definitely not up to my advantage. And I was from Israel. I didn't have a lot of working papers, so that was not working to my advantage as well. So I had those two challenges to pass through, and the persistence paid off, and I ended up here in Berlin. You know, I've really tried and put my effort into other places that I always dreamt of being, and I did other stuff there, but I was not working there in the wind tunnels. And once I gained as well my focus, because my desires and dreams were very broad, and like I was both in the wind tunnel and in the skydiving, and then I wanted to do many things, and I needed to focus for a moment, because it's especially in the beginning, it requires your attention, this job, so you can get good at it fast, you know. It's a new field. You get to live in the wind and introduce all sorts of humans into flight. It's a very fascinating experience to give to somebody. You are the guide, and they're like, what the fuck is this world? It's slippery and fast, and like, oh, it's very light and funny. Flight is really incredible. Yeah, so I ended up working here, and I immigrated here as I came.
What was the first memorial experience? Memorable. Goddamn, excuse
so
my
it's
French.
your Jewish roots, man.
Yeah, you know, that's the problem. Mary Jane is a bit loud, I would say. Sometimes I want to say stuff, but they don't come out. Or they come out. Yeah, give me more. Why not?
Do you want some?
No.
Okay. Do you want some more hot chocolate?
Is there more hot chocolate?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, yes, please. This hot chocolate is delicious.
Yes. So I use cashew milk, and usually I use a 99% cacao. This time it's a 92% because the 99 was away. And this is my normal one that I do. And for this time, because I wanted it extra hot, I added some ginger and cardamom for the spiciness of it.
Which in Hebrew it's called hell.
Hell.
This is hell. Is it also Arabic, hell?
I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not sure.
I think have more Arabic than I do.
Yeah, I lived with Arab dude, really, really cool guy, Tamer. Shout out to Tamer.
Where? Here in Berlin?
Yeah.
Sweet.
It's crazy, yeah. In Berlin, I met crazy people here, which I would never meet if I would stay in Israel, because it's even illegal to kind of hang around. What are the possibilities of me going to Syria or going to Lebanon?
Yeah, we don't know. Like, you know, it's kind of weird that Israelis lock themselves up like that. Like, why not connect with your neighbors instead of like...
It's so complex.
Let's
I
not
don't know
get
if
into
it's allowed
this.
to open it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Reverse.
Yeah, the algorithm will find us and will
reverse.
destroy us.
Yeah, reverse.
We don't touch it with a laser beam.
Yes, you're right. Thank you for stopping this. It's like
We're gonna stop this
dipping your leg
immediately.
in hell.
We're not even thinking about it.
Apchi, what happened?
Absolutely nothing. I think we were talking about mushrooms, actually.
Please delete that part.
It's safer to talk about taking drugs than talking about the politics in Israel.
That is so true.
What the fuck?
It's so funny. Oh, man.
Why it became even bad to start with to talk about psychedelics?
Can you say what?
Why is it bad to talk about psychedelic to start with?
It's not bad to talk about psychedelics. You decided it's bad. Why do you say it's bad?
I talk about as a representative of the human social culture of the last
But that's just
100
hypocrisy.
years.
We humans use substances from all sorts. The one that are currently decided as some countries is illegal doesn't make them bad. I think they're mind expanding, and it's good to have knowledge about them from responsible humans. Yeah. So there's no problem with that whatsoever. It's just in some countries it's presented as a problem.
In some countries, in some times of the human's history.
Yeah. Yeah, for you, let's say it's a nice, broader way to put it.
I remember just before I left here to Germany, I don't know why, but I applied to a job interview. And when I wrote my, you have the first like application papers that you need to fill up with some tests and all this bullshit. And I thought about that I use psychedelics. And I thought, I'm not going to get this job anyway because I'm going to Germany. So why not fuck around with this? And they were very curious about the psychedelics. Not in a way that they're curious and they want to know what I have to say, but they were curious how fucked up I am. That's how it felt for me. Maybe I was...
Like, what do you mean? How many do you take one day? Would you microdose all day long?
It's good to microdose. Not the financial advice. I'm not a professor.
I really like when I do like psychedelic substances when they're strong. I feel like when I take small doses, it's like going to skydive but staying in the plane. It's like not jumping out. I don't want to do like a sightseeing tour. I want to go and skydive. So that's why when I do psychedelics, I like to take a nice,
they're different beasts.
Nice start. Yeah.
I don't know how long have you tried to microdose.
I was not really drawn to that. Whenever I take a small dose, it feels like awkward for my body. It's like I feel the experience, but it's like I said, I'm not skydiving. I'm staying in the plane.
Yeah, there are a few approaches to this. One of the approaches is to take such a dose that you will not even feel it. That's how little it's supposed to be. And the idea is also to do it for a period of time. So there is a different depth and different kind of things, because you are tripping after 2 weeks or 2 months, depends how sensitive you are. You are tripping, but you're not tripping like you're tripping if you take a big dose. Everything is still everything, and you can talk and you can communicate, but you're tripping. Everything goes crazy.
Fuck, with my line of work, I would like to be very straight when I work. I don't want to introduce any kind of substances, so microdosing for me was never really... Never ever thought about it, but I know people that it really helped them.
Yeah.
To deal with different moments in life, with depression. Yeah, I know that people learned a lot about themselves. Like for some people, it's a very developing experience. Yeah.
Yeah. If I know I have long days, like today, around 12 or 1, I take like tiny sips of Hoffman. And I ride the bicycle throughout the day, and it's better for me than coffee, because coffee, there is downsides. But to LSD, when I take this such tiny dose, I don't even feel it. But I have beautiful energy that I can ride, and I feel creative as well.
That's really cool.
It's amazing for me.
That's sweet. I drink cacao.
Oh, cacao is amazing. Yes, I love the coffee in the morning.
I discovered the cacao for me works way better than caffeine. Caffeine, I like the taste a lot, but the effect on my body makes me like stressed a little bit. I feel my heart rate and it's like, oh, I feel a little bit dry. Like I feel dry and stressed. And I don't have this, and then I have a drop. And with the cacao, I feel like awake, but I don't feel any stress, and it doesn't have a fall. It just goes into the activity of the day. So cacao is definitely like a more...
I think the fat plays
right
part in this, because the body digests it a bit slower.
But isn't there, like when you drink coffee, you have some fats in there as well, especially if you drink it with milk and shit like that?
Yeah, I think the best to drink coffee is with butter. But also,
and you told me that.
It's amazing. Also, don't forget that coffee is spread as fuck. Sprayed.
Sprayed?
Yeah. It's a spread, of course. It's spread. It's all over the world, but it's sprayed with... all the stuff that kill bacteria and fungus and all this. I cannot fungicides.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are kind of things, because coffee is very profit. This is this drug that it's legal and everyone runs on it basically. Yeah. It drives the whole world. It wakes up everybody. So
yeah, it's a big industry.
And I'm very sensitive to coffee. If I drink coffee, I notice I have migraines. Maybe a day or two later, it's really crazy migraines.
Wow.
And I can sometimes even puke.
Shit.
Yeah.
Same. I coffee on an empty stomach, I can puke it. It's too strong. It's like too acidic on an empty stomach.
It depends on the coffee.
So I had it a few times. If I drank coffee in the morning on empty stomach, I puked. I wanted to have like a gag reflex.
Yeah, I can understand this. It depends on the coffee, but it's not because of the coffee. It's because of all the additional stuff that is being attached to the coffee while it's being grown. So, the harvest will be the most profit harvest they can have. And only this coffee and the best and the biggest beans. And there are still places where they grow it normally, like they should be grown organically. You call it now organically, but this is basically normally. And there is a place here in Berlin. It's called the Blaubohnen, the blue bean.
Mm-hmm.
And they have amazing coffee. And
where is it?
It's in Friedrichshain, next to Volkswagenplatz.
Okay.
It's a bit expensive, more expensive than what you would buy in supermarkets.
Is it like a coffee place, or like you can sit in it there, or just a coffee
Rösterei.
place? Rösterei. Okay.
Yeah, so they also...
so they make the coffee there.
Yeah.
Sweet.
They make the coffee there.
I'll check it out. I like hanging there in the coffees.
They're amazing. You can buy the whole beans.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really good. I don't experience so much migraines from their coffee.
That's perfect. Okay, good to know.
Yeah. And, just the relationship that you have with good food.
It's really nice. It's really important. Then just brings more harmony into your life, And it's such an important part of life, nourishing ourselves. Food is it's our first nourishment.
It's us.
We
are the food.
Yeah.
Food. That's why we eat.
I am fat in fruit. And fat fruits and cacao. That's my most of my food.
Yeah, fruit are amazing. Wow. It's the most tasty when it's really wild fruits.
we look how long we talk about food, man.
Yeah.
Such foodies. It took us so deep. We dived deep into the fruit land. We buried out our appleness.
We opened the podcast with the food.
Yeah.
We had the berries, yeah.
We
have clementine here, and we have the cacao drink that you made. So basically, it's all around us. Food is all around us, and we are so blessed to have this delicious food.
So, have you ever heard of Neot Smadar? It's a very interesting settlement in south of Israel in the desert.
Neot Smadar.
Neot Smadar.
Neot Smadar.
Yeah.
Smadar.
Yeah. They're like a community that gathered around a philosophy that is mostly based on the writings of now his name escaped my brain, but he's like a Russian Eastern European philosopher that brought a lot of philosophies from the East into the West and kind of merged his own teachings from it. I will remember his name later on.
You mean as
so they were
Buddha stuff and Zen?
Yeah, and to brought it so community.
Hare Krishna's name.
And so the community was built around this. It's a very interesting community that made this beautiful oasis in the desert. And there, they gather the whole settlement gathers in the meal times. And during their meals, they don't eat. Sorry, not eat. That's sorry. Confusion. They don't talk. It came out like that. They eat, but they don't talk. What do you say about that? That during their meals, they don't engage in conversation. That's like their rules, their behavior codes.
I don't know. It can be nice, but I think that food is one of our biggest social events as a human species. When you bring me food, I think there is something very ancient in our brains that you actually made the effort to bring this fruit to me. Either you went physically somewhere to pick it up. If you bring meat, you must hunt it. So it's luxurious. You bring me the energy of an animal. And if we don't have those fruits, and those kind of food or those animals, we just die. We don't want to die. We want to survive. So when we bring each other food, yeah, it's something very primal. This kind of gestures.
Yeah, I roll with that.
Food and music.
Oh, music.
This is the two things. I think if someone knows how to play music and make people feel good, and if someone knows how to cook food and make people feel good, because he cooks really good, wow, this person is gold.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So that's the skills you should learn, people, by Ohad.
Do music.
Music and food.
And just do it for people. Cook for them, play music for them. They will appreciate you. Music. What is your relationship with music, Anna?
Oh, music. Music is one of the best languages that I ever learned.
A language.
Yes, it is. It is an art. It is a language. It is a world. It is a
language.
Yeah, it's like life expressing itself through sound. It's beautiful. I got into my life deeply since I got a ukulele as a gift when I was 30. And I started playing the DJ before that. But around that time, I managed to have a DJ with me in a more permanent way. But the DJ and the string instrument, the ukulele, they're very different experience of music. The other one is the DJ is very body play. You play with your being, you play with your gut, you play with your mouth. It's like very physical, very inside. You vibrate the sounds of you. And the guitar is very like external, it's very gentle, it's fingery. It's like the uke especially, it's very small. But it's fascinating because the strings they're so diverse. You can play them in so many different ways. They're wonderful. So, and the ukulele, because it is small, I took it everywhere with me. So my dream with music was to be able to express myself. That's what I wanted to do, just to be able to sit with an instrument and go blah, 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 blah. And by having the ukulele constantly with me.
What does it mean?
To play around, just to like express whatever I have to express. Vroom, vroom, vroom. I learned my first step of music was to learn how to play the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, which is like the most basic scale in the Western music. Yeah, why not? Thanks, dude. And this allowed me to explore music because you can play the notes quite easily rather than learning a chord, which is like learning how to run. So a note, it will be a building block of a chord. And for me, the process of learning the notes, the building blocks rather than the chords, the house, was way more accessible, and I could make music very fast. Instead of learning how to play a chord, it takes a little bit more while. Even on a ukulele, the ukulele, it's actually, some of them chords are very easy because some of them are just one finger chords and it's not really a chord for your fingers. It's like a chord in the sound, but not for your fingers. And what's hard for the chord is not the sound, it's your fingers. So the process of learning the music was very, very fun, very, very fast. Unlike with the DJ that requires a lot of fucking skill and ability to play it awesomely. And it took me ages to learn how to circular breath. It was a very challenge for me.
This is what it's all about.
What?
The circular breath with DJ.
Not only, you can actually play, and you should play until you learn the circle. It's not a condition, but once you learn the circular breath, it allows you the continuity of this. It just gives it a flow. You don't need to stop.
This is what you want to achieve.
Yes, but you can still play and then practice this in between and use your practice as a kind of a rhythm. I think I explained it to you before. Yes.
Yeah, you explained it to me. You actually gave me a good lesson with the lips. If you do.
Yeah.
I don't practice it so often, but this is really good practice to do. Mm-hmm. Now I start to practice with a bottle of water in a straw. So I put the straw inside a half-full bottle of water, and I just sing melodies like that. So I practice the melody while, very, very interesting, and it helps so much. This is the strongest exercise you can do for your speech, for your singing, for your deej, everything that involves breath and using and relaxing all this part of your throat and airways.
Yeah. For
Crazy.
me, that was not a helpful tip. Like,
Deej
I
is
know
good,
this is a really good thing, but for me, this didn't help me learn the circular breath.
Yeah.
For me, it was
sure
very
not.
challenging for my brain.
Yes. Yeah, you play really good with the deej.
Thank you.
wish I
It
could
was a
play
long
like that.
journey. It was a long journey. It is now I can play it. For me, my challenge with the deej is to I can play. I really enjoy it. I think exploration of rhythms is something that I haven't unleashed my full beast there. I can go learn way deeper in that and give myself a confidence in my rhythms. This is something I can say about my deej journey. Yeah. Like, I can play and I enjoy what I play, but I haven't evolved in a long time with the deej because I haven't put in time into that. As simple as that.
Put time into everything you want to be better.
Yeah. Now today I was playing the deej in the last few days. Since the last month, I'm wanting to getting back into that so I can evolve my music there. Yeah, but I was not I was like, my mind was just on skateboarding in the last year and a half. That's all I cared about, man. I pick up the DJ or the guitar just to make a little tune for the video. Do like a little 5-minute session and then I put it away.
Yeah, it's better than nothing. This is how we met. You looked for people to jam with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I saw your ad on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Was it in Israel? Is in Berlin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we contacted each other. I contacted you, and then we met in a park.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was a really good jam. I came with Darbuka, I think. and
Came with the
guitar.
DJ and the guitar.
You came with your guitar. I came also with Darbuka, I think.
Yeah, and I brought a DJ as well, right?
You were the DJ.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the DJ that opens
Yeah, this one. Not the big one that I have now.
Yeah. Yeah, and
That was
since
really
then
fun.
we did really creative stuff together.
Yeah. It was like really fucking awesome friendship. I'm really stoked about it. It's from I think one of the most valuable and incredible things and reasons to be alive is to experience connections with humans, you know. That's magic of life. It's like the two universes crashing and creating a new experience. This is very, very precious to me when I get to connect deeply with humans, and friendship is just magical to experience. And I'm very happy to have met and experience our friendship. Yeah.
Right back at you. I love how you inspire me, and I hope I inspire you as well.
Yes, fuck dude, man.
It's like the energy is getting more and more intense, you know, and we just go crazier.
We grow.
Yeah.
We grow. We
way beyond.
evolve. We evolve, you know, like from this one circle comes out this pattern of life.
Yeah. Yeah, we influence each other's vibration, and then we allow ourselves to... You do stuff that allow me to do stuff, and vice versa. Like the fact that you just do whatever you want in your life and you follow whatever makes you feel excited and happy, you know, it also allows me, because I see how you live. You live good. You always have good mood. You always do something. You're happy. You're satisfied with yourself. And you're not sitting the whole day in front of a television. No, you're really happy. It's really nice to be around you.
Yeah, thank
and
you.
just because you live like that, it allows me to live more like that.
Yeah, hallelujah.
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 Hell yes.
I'm glad to hear, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is very awesome. It's very beautiful to allow people to be who they are. Even if I don't like it, I'd rather see who you are.
That's
You
a
know?
good way to say it. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I just appreciate this. I'll take this with me. That
Everybody.
even if you don't like somebody, just gotta let them be, you know.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
I don't have to be everyone's friends.
No, it's cool. We find our tribes, you know, people
Exactly.
that we connect with. So effortlessness, This is a thing.
It just happens.
Effortlessness is a guide, you know. A few things guide me in my life. My passions, like what I love, and effortlessness. Because not everything that you love doing is effortless for you, yeah? Because some things that you're even good at, you know, and you enjoy, but it's not like, wait, this I'm melting two different ideas here. So let's go back again. So effortless is definitely a guide because then it doesn't matter the hardships that you go through, it's still a pleasure to fucking do it. So it makes life easier, you know, when I find the things that feel effortless for me, that's like that, and then I know this is the jackpot, this is the shit, this is the path.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a compass more than a guide, that's better to say.
Yeah, it's a compass.
Compass is a guide and a guide, yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of stuff in life that are necessary to be done and they are not pleasant. But those that are pleasant and effortless, those are the unicorns.
Eventually, you know, what is your day, what you choose. So I try to choose that my life will be built from what I love to do and what feels effortless to me. So my life feels full of love and effortlessness and flow. So this is how this is how I constructed, this is my day, this is my days. And of course, life is still rocky and you still feel the challenges and the waves of life.
That's by default, I think.
Yes. Important to remember that. There is no perfection. That is an illusion, you know. Perfection is just a moment, you know. It's like a wave at its peak and goes down. And it's just a moment.
Yeah.
Perfection is not a state or just balance. Maybe is a sort of perfection, but it's always in and out of balance, you know. Life is not static. Can you imagine the earth stopping from its spin? You know, everything is moving.
Everything is constantly vibrating.
It's in motion. That's why I like speed so much. Like, not the drug, the experience of motion in high velocity. Because I feel like through speed, I get to connect to how the earth is spinning. So I get to connect on something very deep.
How do you feel this connection while you're doing something that is
so
high velocity of speed?
It's like I can relax into that, you know. When I'm feel the speed, I feel the energy, I feel the wind. I feel like something is carrying me with me. I feel like I'm held as I propel forward. It feels connected. When I feel the speed, I feel like I'm in a flow as well. Helps me to connect to the flow. Flow of life, it's like, you know, if I imagine what is flow, you know, if I can put it into words, what is flow? Is like to go down to the subtlety of feeling the spin of the earth and how the molecules of the air go with it. Then you connect to the flow and the rhythm of the earth, to your heartbeat. It's highs and lows. So something as well that I've noticed in skateboarding, I've learned how to time my breath so it benefits the motion the best. And I realized that when is the best timing for that. So imagine when we do something, when we breathe in, you hold a lot of shit. Suddenly you have air in you, you know? You're like everywhere. You need to hold that thing. When you breathe out, you release. And you release your weight and you surrender to the gravity that is pulling you to the center of the earth. So your body has a direction. And when you do something in motion arts and you breathe out, or you have a direction, a clear energy line when you go for your whatever you're doing. So if you ever wondered and pondered about the breathing and the breath technique for athletes, this is my understanding about that. Make sense?
Yeah. It does make sense. The thing is, I'm pretty stoned. So it makes sense in very slow motion.
It's funny that you say slow motion. Another thing that I would share with you about the process of learning that I really enjoy. And so slow is fast. This is something that
Slow is fast.
slow
yeah.
is fast. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
From guitar, I can tell it for sure. The moment I started to practice very slow, I became so fast.
Do you know why? There's a very easy explanation. So you can make a very simple experience. You can look from one side of the room and turn your head slower to the outside of the room. So you can notice so much detail when you're moving slow. And it's a lot of detail, yeah? If you do it fast, you haven't noticed anything, yeah? Because it's like too much information. But through the process of doing it slow, you learn to absorb a big amount of information. And then when you do things faster, you can digest information faster and do it faster. This is the basic explanation of why slow is fast. And in skydiving, you really fucking learn how to do that shit. Because in the beginning, you're in tunnel vision. There's too much speed. All you see is a little beam of focus. And then with time, your consciousness expands. Yeah. And by learning to do things slow, you allow yourself even more to expand this little thing. And then through this process, you're learning to think very fast and react fast. Because you actually have to react fast. You have only 1 minute. Yes. Yeah. Plus, minus.
But the practices are very slow. How do you practice, basically?
So you learn how to move slow. So it's like instead of like doing a motion like that, you learn how to do it slow so you can do it fast later. So all you need to do is something very minimal in the end.
What kind of movements when you're about to hit the ground?
Or like in flight and free fall, when we balance with our bodies and we fly. So when you learn a certain position, you basically learn to balance it on the air, on the very slippery air. Yeah. And at first some people in how they control their body, you can move like that. You can make a sharp move from one part of the move to the other one. Like if you move your hand, you go and or you can move your hand gradually to the next pose of the move, like a smooth motion rather than a cut motion. Do you understand this?
And you practice this while you're falling down.
And then with balancing, it's way better to move slow and gradually because then you have time to react.
While you're falling down.
Yeah, like so imagine this is your balancing. So when you're learning to do this, you have to like, whoa, you're like gliding on this air. It's very slippery. You're like, how the fuck do I balance? And you have, when you learn the vertical positions, you have much less surface to balance on. It's like going on a tightrope rather than lying on a ball, or a carpet, whatever. It's very different.
Yeah, I remember when I was there in this event that you organized in the tunnel and you gave me a little demo there inside the tunnel itself. You remember this?
Was it like a birthday?
No, when I came to play guitar and you were flying with Guna.
Yeah. So you were flying too, right?
Yeah, you gave me like a 10 minutes of a demonstration in this. Ooh. And you gave me advice and tip how to balance myself. And I noticed how sensitive every movement that I do is. It just tiny bit of movement and I move a lot. That was a very interesting experience. And this is what you do for a living.
Yes.
You lucky bastard.
Man, 3 times a day I'm grateful. It's like it's a conscious moment. I like so grateful every day that I'm at my work. And like I say it out loud to myself 3 times a day when I'm working.
Yeah, be proud of it. It's beautiful.
Yes, I'm loving it. It's a great human experience that I can share. Because not everybody will jump from a plane, but everybody can go in the wind tunnel. And it's so interesting to work with so many different body types. So like kiddos and young teenagers and young adults and then grown-ups and then oldies and handicapped and blind and autistic. Wow. Yeah, you can everybody can try and fly.
Can someone who is really overweight try?
As long as they fit through the door in our biggest suits.
Which is?
It's like a triple XL. It's pretty big. And we have one more flexi. We had some big dudes flying. We call it heavy cargo. I don't know, what, 150? I don't know.
150 flying. Wow.
Feels like you're flying next to a bus. You're like, whoa, there's like a bus next to me.
It's impressive.
Imagine little me taking this shit to the flight, taking this bus. Come big bus, little B will show you how to fly.
Someone who is 3 times heavier than you flying next to you. This is a very funny scenario.
Yeah, this is It's really fun. It's really interesting to get to experience that. That's a very interesting part of the job. To learn how to do that, how to excel in that was very important to me, so I can share the best flying experience. And I'm very happy, I brought myself. It was a big challenge for me to calm down in the wind tunnel, because in skydiving, I could be 500%. I was a videographer. I was going, you're a videographer, you gotta do a skydive, woohoo! Yeah, I could be like that. And I was flying hard and flying my camera. I was swooping all the time, I was fucking going hard in this part of my life, man.
14 times a day.
That was my record. That's not every time. I would say between 3 to 4 on low days and 6 to 10, 11 in big days.
Let's say average of 7 is a good number, 7.
I would say 6 or 5.
6.66.
Well, in heaven.
You are falling from heaven.
Yes.
You are. Did it hurt when you fell down from the sky? Yes, when I banged my knees, you motherfucker.
I'm no angel, man.
No angel. Is you the gardener?
I'm more like a fruit dragon.
Full dragon.
Fruit. The berry dragon. The very berry dragon.
The one that you have the white inside and the one that it's very pinkish inside. This fruit you talk about?
What?
The dragon fruit?
I don't know. I was just imagining a mystical dragon creature, and he is light blue, and he eats a lot of berries. There is a graffiti in the skate park that I took photos of, and I called it "This is my spirit animal," and this is my fruit dragon.
Berry dragon.
This is the fruit dragon. Where are ya? So funny to make voices. Here we go. This is it. Check it out. This is my alter ego. This little cute dragon there.
Dragons are so interesting. Yeah, it is beautiful. Bluish dragon. What a weird animal is a dragon. Do you think there will ever exist in the time on this earth?
Sorry. Even science and, when you go deep into the quantum world, there's infinity of possibilities, supports ideas of multiple realities. I feel like the dragons in some kind of a matter of reality have real existence in some kind of world, some kind of period of time. They're depicted in so many cultures, and we talk many about our myths as, I don't know, I think myths have a certain origin, maybe from other realms, that we are not have access at the moment and in our understanding of the life and the universe. But yeah, after this long explanation, it's a yeah. I think so. That all weird mystical creatures have some kind of existence in some kind of universe.
I was in a bookstore in California. It was a second-hand bookstore. It looked very interesting. And one of the books that I found it's called The Flight of the Dragon. And it's a book that are beautiful illustrations. It's also a big book. I think it's bigger than A4.
Okay.
And I got it because of the illustrations. But then I started to read as well. And they give you explanations about, let's imagine dragons are real. And they actually give you explanation about how they mate, how they survive, what is their natural habitat, how they live their life. You would read a book about any other animal. But it's all completely fictional. Very beautiful book. It makes you think. It makes you wonder.
I think I know this book.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think maybe I know it about fairies and not about dragons, and then I confused the combo.
Maybe. It's a very special book. If you know it, wow.
Flight of the Dragon.
Yeah.
It sounds like a good book to order.
I don't know if they still make it.
I don't know. I'll write it down. For sure you can hunt something down.
Yeah, maybe you can find secondhand. There are some books that doesn't exist anymore.
Flight of the Dragon.
When I trained jiu-jitsu, there was a book that everyone recommended. And it was so difficult to find it. If you would find a copy of it, you would pay $100.
What is it?
A book about jiu-jitsu, about drilling. But the book is so legendary
Ooh.
from some Brazilian legends, and they don't print it anymore. So it became so rare and valuable.
That's cool.
Can you pass the lighter?
Yeah, sure. I like the clipper lighter because I like the different art on it. Because eventually those lights are travel, you know. This one it's pink and has bitch on it. I found it.
You found it.
I found it on the floor.
Yeah, clipper are very genius.
They're really fun. They make
They're amazing.
lighting up funner.
And the lighter is the ultimate tool for a stoner person.
Yeah, it's a good lighter. And it's a really good lighter, yeah? It's
You
like
can have
much better than the other one.
Yeah, you can have a clipper forever. You can always fix it.
It's nice. I really appreciate when companies do the whole upcycling and recycling thing, because eventually, you know, this is a direction that makes sense in some ways to go. When we have a circular economy, you know, that supports itself. Because life is like a spiral, you know, our DNA is a spiral. Why not act more like a spiral? We're like almost forgetting that we are a spiral. This is our most fundamental structure, you know, our DNA. It's a double helix. It's a spiral. It's not like if from one perspective it's a circle, from the other perspective you see it's propelling forward or downwards, like it has motion in both directions.
Also, Earth is spiraling.
Exactly, everything has motion. Motion is a very basic component of existence.
Yeah, vibrations. It's all frequencies. You know, the only reason that you feel pressure when you're sitting on this couch, it's because the atoms are resisting one another because they have different vibrations. So that's why you don't become part of the couch, or you don't go into that. That's very interesting. There is a book that I read. It's called Stalking the Wild Pendulum.
Ooh, sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's about a guy somewhere in the 80s or the 60s or the 70s, somewhere there. And he wrote a book about vibrations, and he really go into details about resonance. So you notice it probably in a guitar when you play a note. Sometimes other strings starts to vibrate, even though you did not play them. And this is something that applies to everything in the universe. And once something is vibrating in a certain way, it can influence something that is close enough. And if two things vibrating in a certain way, and there is a third object, so they can also influence this third object to be like them because they are stronger. And we also humans, we're like that, a very complex system of vibrations, but it influence one another. And he also said that there is a state. So if you take the pendulum, for example, and this is why I called in the book like that. So it moves from left to right, yeah? So once there is momentum that takes it from left to right, and then it reaches a point where it flips, and then it goes from right to left until it reaches the point where it stops and it goes down. So there is a moment where there is zero gravity, maybe for a very brief of a second. And in this zero gravity, there is no motion. It's just stuck in the place. And because it's stuck in the place, so it's everywhere. Because there is no motion. And then it takes this concept into meditation. So this is how you can perceive an omnipresence. If you let your frequency vibrate so fast that the fast vibration appear as one in line and not as waves. So you can achieve it by relaxation, and then you can achieve this omnipresence. So you just become everywhere because you're stillless, you're motionless. And then he started to talk about transcended meditations, it's called, and Kundalini energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a very interesting book.
Oh, man, the Deej
Crazy
gave
stuff.
me a lot of insight into the world of breath and vibration in the body.
Oh, wow, the Jesus is insane with that.
Oof.
Wow, share with me, please.
So, through practicing breath work with the Deej. The basic way to do circular breath is pushing breath with your cheeks when they're hollow, you can like, and but you're doing the breath out with your cheeks muscle and not with your lungs like you would do with the breath. You just use your cheek muscle. So first when you do that, you take a breath. And then when you learn how to do this, first you use, that's how the basics of circular breath work. So you first do this with your mouth, and then you learn how to do it with your throat, and then you can do it with your diaphragm, and then you can do it even with your pelvic floor muscles. You can just push air from certain part of your body, and then you feel how the air travels in your body, and through following the air, you basically bring your attention to different parts of your body, your different organs that usually you're not aware of, and how you use them and how you manipulate air. And on all this air stuff, there's riding sound vibration. And then you project basically from different spaces in your body the vibration of the space, because how the waves of sound bounce to create a certain resonance. So this shit you project through the Deej. And then through playing music, you practice deep pranayama. And you learn how to manipulate your breath and feel your body. And so one of the most crazy experiences that I had with the Deej is opening the energy channel in the whole body. So I started pushing air from different areas from my body, and through pushing air from my pelvic floor muscles, I could start feeling air from the other side of the body and feeling like air in the areas of my vagina. I was like, whoa, it's not like a pussy fart, that you feel air coming in from one direction and then you can blow it out. I can do voluntary pussy farts because when you invert, go to handstand or headstand or something like that, and I will release the muscles, the air will come in, and then when I go down, I can go, and that's the basic of pussy fart, if anybody wants to know.
Exclusive to Son of a Pigeon podcast. We're going to have an internet course about it.
So through practicing circular breath and pushing air with my pelvic floor muscles, I started feeling air in those deep areas from the other side, from the inside of the body. And then one day as I was playing with that, I was going down, why shouldn't I go up? And then by going up through the parts of my head, I suddenly felt this river of sound and energy and air, like strong wind just going through me and passing through me completely from my entire body, coming out from the bottom and not just staying in my lungs. So like a flow of river of energy going through me. I was like, oh my G, keep on playing. Oh, what is that? I felt like I was in the flow. I was like, this is the shit that I was reading about. I felt like all the trees around me and I was like, wow, what is that? So that was a very interesting experience. I felt like I reached an Everest mountain of at the peak of the mountain of a new experience that now I had just a tiny fraction of that. And now I need to learn how to do that shit, to understand what I've just experienced, to break it down. And so I talked to my yoga teachers, I described her the experience. She's like, oh no, you have opened your Sushumna.
You open your Sushumna.
Sushumna. It's like in the Indian knowledge of the yoga, you have the two channels of energy, one from your left, one from your right, and they spiral down. And then you have the main one, and the main channel is called Sushumna. Sushumna. She sounds like Shoshana.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this is a rite of passage kind of event.
This is so
everyone needs to go through it.
It's very interesting. So what I brought it down, what I've been practicing since 3 years, is basically to do it in low speed. Because basically what I experienced it is in high speed because of the Deej. So imagine normal air or free fall air, suddenly the air is fast and it's dense. And that's what I felt. So intense didn't just open. It opened with a fucking river of air, with the Dij sound and vibration. So
Were you relaxed physically?
So it feels very spacious, but very full.
Were you relaxed?
I was. So the circular breath is like, especially at that point. So as I described, it feels very full. When you feel full, you feel very expanded, but it feels very spacious in the same way. So I don't know if the relax is the right word from it. This is how I describe it. Full and yet spacious.
For me, what it sounds like, the experience that you have, it sounds like you started with the ditch. So first you had the muscles here. You had to learn how to control the cheeks muscles with this.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize you can relax them. So you start to use your throat muscles more. And then you realize, I can relax this. And then you went to your diaphragm and you can relax this. So you went to your pelvic muscles and you relax this.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if all these relaxations, basically what allowed the energy to flow there.
Absolutely. And then basically what I was doing in the last 3 years, I was doing it low speed and doing it only like through normal meditation, pranayama work without a didgeridoo. And basically the air, there's a channel in the body that opens. It allows the air to come in from the top of your head and get out from the bottom of your body. Just for the, and this like, it's like a breath that doesn't go through this. So it participates as well. And the air goes through the nose into the lungs, but it has like a channel that goes like this, like just from the top. And it's like a different way to breathe.
It's a different way to produce energy. Or it's a different way to conduct the energy.
Maybe, yeah. It's really interesting. I'm after 3 years of like exploration, I'm just getting more and more to the hang in it. How can I relax into that? Because first it feels very tense, and then first I was feeling these different tensions building up, and then I learned how to let them go and expand. And now I'm in the point that I have managed completely to expand and experience this kind of circle of breath experience without having the dij and with low speed air, like normal air, like this, rather than the push of the air of the dij, which is like a stream of air. So, but I have not yet completely like understood its use, implications, simplifications, like it's certain connection to like life's flow, but I'm just like still very in the early science of it.
Well, there you go. Someone needs to fund this research. The ditch vibration body research.
Oh my G, something I have to share if you're already talking about body science stuff.
Yeah, go for it.
All the ladies that own a vagina, or all the humans that own a vagina, that's a better way to say it. Yeah. Whoever you are, if you have period, you can actually learn how to control your pussy, your pelvic floor muscles, in order to handle the blood of the period, just like we use like our pee holder, just learn how kind of muscles you use to hold the blood, and then what kind of muscle tension you need. So it's chill. It's like when first time you recognize you have a pee, right? You don't have to pee right away. So the same thing works with like blood period. Yeah. And I've been doing this since 5 years, and it's been really liberating.
You've been doing it 5 years without using
anything, yeah.
So you don't have tampons for 5 years, no cups?
No, I have nothing.
Nothing, not even this protective underwear stuff?
No, I just wear black panties.
You're a true Amazonian. Go with white panties.
Well, I have a white suit. I work, I skydive.
Wow. It seems supernatural, but once you actually practice,
it's like pee and poo, man, yeah. It's very liberating. It gave my focus away from the physicality of the period to the energetical level part of it, and what I can do with my life, feeling the process of this like wave that's happening in the body.
But there might be someone who's listening right now and she's saying this is impossible. Like, how would you guide them step by step? Because you see someone who does it for 5 years and we think it's easy because you have 5 years of practicing it. But if now someone who is really not, the whole idea just shocks her world, how would you advise to this vagina owner?
So, dear human with vagina owner, if you're curious about it, what I can recommend is one day when you have a day off and you're on your period and you're chilling at home. So try not to put anything. And then once you feel the blood is coming out, go and empty yourself in the toilet. And then you will recognize that sensation arrives before the blood actually comes out. And you can, like, by squeezing gently, your pelvic floor muscles, you can actually hold the blood out, and it doesn't have to come out until you tell it to come out. Just like pee, you don't pee yourself, you just go to the toilet and pee when you can. And if you're not used to using your pelvic floor muscles, so this is an advice from my mother when I was a teenager. Dear Anna, if you're at a boarding class, just practice your vagina muscles. Just go like squeeze and release. You can just squeeze your vagina muscles and release them, and then learn how to control your pussy. Make friends with your pussy, and the pussy will be a good friend back. And so these are the two basic things that I can recommend to do. And yeah, this is you can see how your level of curiosity is about it, how it feels for you. If it feels natural, does it give you stress? It's not like a religion that I want to convert, but I feel like it's important information to share, because not very few women are aware of this practice, but it actually makes sense once you think about it, right?
Yeah, I think so. Women should be way more powerful than they think they are. I think the world today very much taking the power of the feminine energy, and that's the creative energy. I think a word it's too masculine, but there is also this thing about the masculinity that it is masculine, but the masculine is not healthy. Maybe there is a switch right now. You see it mostly on social media, and we all know what's really going on in social media. So what's going on in the world, I have no idea. But I know some people's reality are so different than mine. You know, if you live in Sudan, it's a different reality. If you live in Alaska, it's a different reality. But yeah, I think everyone should know this information. It's very important.
How to use your pussy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, it's liberating.
It's your own sexual vital and it's your life force. If you know how to
the
if you know how to be
pussy is
friends
a
with
portal, man. It's a portal.
every sexual genital, sexual.
You're more like a gun. A pussy's a portal.
Yeah. Also, you need to know how to use a gun.
You're the male phallus, the male genital is more like a vessel. You know, it's more like a vessel.
The male genital.
Yeah, like the piece. It's a vessel that travels. It's like a spaceship, and then the pussy. Yeah, maybe if you just imagine simply they're inverted. Yeah, but the pussy is a portal. You know, things come through there. You know, it's a travel.
Yeah.
It's like a port. There's an exit point. There's a coming point, and there's an exit point. Man, it's like a. It's a crazy.
It's a laboratory.
It's a laboratory that brings energy to fucking matter. You know. It's life in a nutshell.
Laboratory.
Yes.
Yeah, this idea, I'm a man. I don't know what it's like. There are some stuff that I can experience that you will never be able. But this idea that you can be pregnant and there will be some life form that will start to grow inside of you, that there is nothing to do with you except the fact that you somehow provided the place to evolve, but from absolutely nothing evolves a human.
So absolutely nothing. It's a sperm and an egg.
Yeah.
It's 2 cells, man.
It's 2 cells, but look at me. Look at you.
Yeah.
Like, this is so complex life form.
From the circle to the pattern of life.
Yeah, and then after 9 months, there is something comes out of you.
It's crazy, right?
And the moment it came out of you, it's no longer you, but it's you. But it's not. You cannot really control your kids. If you control your kids, probably you're gonna give them a lot of time with psychologists or some other fucked up stuff, which all of us are having, and that's the best way to live your life. But kids are kids. They have their own thoughts, and their thoughts, there is no connection to how you relate to them, but they're still part of your body. It's a very weird concept. I talked once with a girl that her job is to help women get natural birth.
Ooh, she's like a doula?
I don't know what it's called professionally, but I was so interested. And yeah, imagine this is what you see most of your days, basically. You see another humans being brought to this reality, to this world. Wow, what a job.
Yeah, man. So, like, welcome from the portal of sperm and egg to here. Hello, welcome to Earth. It's crazy, right?
Insane.
Wow. Such a strange way to bring matter to life, to go through vaginas of mammals.
Yeah, I mean the whole system, how we develop, basically your breasts are manufacture of milk. They can make food, superfood that is so rich in protein, in fats, in all the vitamins that necessary for this baby to evolve, because basically he came out of your uterus prematurely, so you have to protect him for at least 7 years. I don't know.
No, a bit like I think by 4 until 4,
Until
3 or 4.
There is, yeah, but it's pretty much helpless in the beginning of its life.
It has some chance by 3 or 4. 1, 2, not so much. 3 or 4, it's already has like a little bit more. But some kids are like
Savage
smart
baby.
from it's individual. It's individual, but like you have to be able to move, to run and talk to survive. No, not necessarily talk, but run. Run and hide.
If you're 4 years old, can you hunt? Can you?
Yeah, you can hunt shit. Yeah, man.
What can you hunt? Is it
Man,
4 years old?
The Russians train their kids from a very young age.
4 years old.
Man. I remember me and my brother being alone in our apartment. Memories when I'm 3. Like I remember me and my brother waiting, sitting in the salon,
Hunting bears in the wilderness.
and looking through the window and like just swearing people with swear words because we're like, oh, baby, oh, cocky, little kiddos. And then waiting for mom to come. And we were alone at home, The Russians train their kids very young. They become independent. This is what I take from my Russian heritage.
There is a
The
difference between
independence.
swearing people in the streets and going hunting a bear or something.
Yeah, man, but we were like, we are just a gentle city example. I'm sure that there are Russians that do that, and by 3 or 4 they go hunt with their crazy Putin
In Mongolia
father.
must be someone like that. A baby that's already been hunting 5 deers and it's already 2 years old.
Yeah, that's a good example. In Asia, you see all these little tiny ninja kids.
Yeah.
They like beasts. It's like they were like beasts from nothing. Or like these little skateboard kiddos or snowboarder kiddos destroyed by 3 years old. Here you go. They can definitely survive and thrive.
Imagine a baby with a diaper go to hunt.
Boom.
With a bow and arrow. And then you see the baby still with a diaper, takes the deer on his back, starts to walk up the mountain.
Oh my G.
It's a funny baby.
I'm sure they will do a weird series about it. With this weird idea.
Someone, yeah. Please give me some credit at least.
To give you some credit.
If someone,
Yeah.
You heard it here first time.
The son of a pigeon.
Son of a Pigeon podcast.
Son of a pigeon. Have you ever eaten a pigeon?
I'm the son of them. But what's the most important? Do not threaten a pigeon with wine.
Do not threaten a pigeon with wine?
Yeah.
Why?
Al taimi alyona beyain.
What?
Al taimi.
Alyona beyain?
Yes. Don't threaten a pigeon with wine.
מה זה, אני לא מבינה את המשפט הזה. He told me a phrase in Hebrew that I don't really know.
I cannot really explain it. It's a secret.
I don't know this one.
I can tell you not in the podcast.
Okay, tell me later, but didn't click in my brain. I don't know this phrase.
All right, I can tell you afterwards.
Okay. Now we're all curious.
Why? He don't threaten pigeon with wine. What will happen?
I
will go to a pigeon and I will threaten it with wine. Here, come here, pigeon. Come here. And then... glass of wine. It doesn't sound like glass of wine.
You have a toast.
Yeah, this like... I'm a drunk pigeon.
You were talking before about the state of humanity and us living more in a patriarchy world. You didn't use those words, but just me summing it up. So my perspective about that is that I like to see humanity as man and woman. It has both sides. Humanity is not only man, it's not only woman. It has both sides.
It's the balance.
It's the balance. It's the both and everything in between, because these are two edges eventually, man and woman. And then there is a hole in between. And life is always a scale, it's just not the edges. There's something in between the edges. And nowadays we're operating like like a one-sided human. You know, we're telling one side, no, you're this side is not the shit, it's weak, it's ain't good, it doesn't know how to lead us in life. And we count only on one side and we try to replace the other side with like a bunch of, you know, technology and metal and fulfill like this balance with foreign objects that we reject from our inner self. And now I see that women is like stepping into their power, is like humanity slowly balancing itself. And even now the paradigm of the future is not even considering the rise of women in humanity and how they will influence humanity. Now we are still in the paradigm of perceiving the future from only the one side of humanity, and it's not in its balanced state. So my vision of the future is actually way better than it is prognosed now, because it's still locked in its old paradigm. It doesn't see the evolution. It doesn't have the perspective because you're so deep in the one side perspective. And I see the wave of that. I see the wave of balance, and I see the rise of women, the rise of humanity in its balance.
Did you know in ancient Egypt, I think I'm not sure, something that I heard, the females were very strong there. So the women had a lot of power and they were active part of the government, of the regime. From what it sounds like, Egypt was a pretty awesome place to be. If you lived somewhere in this time, I think Egypt was the shit. Yeah, you know this theory about the pyramids? They used to be huge power plants and they used to bring energy from the air.
Oh, I didn't know that, no.
Yeah, there is some theories about this. You can find it all over the internet, of course.
I heard a lot of things, but I haven't heard that they were power plants. Cool.
Yeah, they say there was a leverer that came from the Nile, and it came underneath the pyramid, and it was moving up and down, and by moving like this, it was creating electricity.
That's cool. That's cool.
Oh yeah,
They were like, oh, let's make some energy here, building some pyramids. Cleopatra, here you go, sunshine.
and this energy came out from the pyramids. That's why they were shaped like this, and they were covered. I don't know if in gold, but some conductive element.
That's interesting. This stuff haven't stayed, haven't
Probably
lasted.
not.
The coating,
It's like
the coating of the wall faded, but we only see the structure. Ah, that's nice.
Yeah, maybe. And people might think, oh, how it's possible electricity will go through the air? What?
Nah, there's a lot of things we
Like Wi-Fi is
used
going
to
through
know.
the air.
Yeah, man.
All this information with the internet, you cannot even see it.
Yeah.
And what, of course.
Light is energy through the air.
Yeah. And also electricity. What is electricity? No one knows what is electricity. What is it? We know how to use it. We don't know what is electricity.
What do you mean by sure science have a definition of electricity, no?
Can you speak to the microphone?
Oh, sorry. I'm sure science that has a
You can
definition
also
of
take the
electricity.
microphone a bit back, and if you want to chill.
What do you mean to bring it closer to me?
You can open this, and then you can pull it.
Yeah. Can you hear me well?
Yeah.
The shaky wall dry throat. Okay. So, what? We were saying something.
We were talking about being a cat.
Being a cat. I think that actually my personality is just like a cat. Yeah. I'm not nice. I'm direct, and I express.
What a jump!
Yeah.
Why not? Skydiving. You see, that's what you need to have as a skydiver. Be able to jump from crazy places to crazy other places.
That's funny.
It's being a
Actually,
cat.
the skydivers are described as cats
By whom?
by skydivers.
They describe themselves as cats by...
It's like when we say like try to organize skydivers, like try to organize try trying herding cats. It's a bunch of like individuals that do their thing. They're not like a pack of dogs. Cats are like, they go around in groups, yeah, but cats are like individual thingies. They do their thing. They don't follow their master as the same way dogs do. So try herding cats. It's not so easy, you know. Only me food, maybe.
The only. They also land on their feet.
Yeah.
Always. God damn it. It's so weird to do a podcast and being so stoned.
Really? You get too high?
Yeah. I would say so.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's the high. Maybe it's because I'm tired.
Okay.
I wake up early.
Okay. Do you want to wrap it up?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up. Do you want to do a little rap to wrap it up?
Yo, motherfuckers.
It's
No,
been
you're
you.
not motherfuckers. You're lovely people. Yo, lovely people.
You make love to the mothers.
Thank you for chilling in the podcast. I was Ohad and Anna was Anna.
It was a pleasure.
Yes.
And yeah.
Till next time.
Son
Thank
of
you,
a
people.
pigeon, wrapping up.
Hell yes.
Sound of the Pigeon Podcast. Sound of the Pigeon Podcast.
Son of a pigeon podcast.